Pause it, friends. This is Real FM Radio. Good morning. Sister Annette, let us pray.
Good morning, Mr. Donald. Good morning to everybody listening. The steadfast love of the Lord never ceases. His mercies, they never come to an end. They are new every morning. Great is thy faithfulness, O Lord. We must recognize, Lord, even as we come before your throne this morning, we must recognize that you exist and you are a reward of them that diligently seek you, Lord. This morning we thank you because we have that access and that liberty. We can come boldly before the throne of grace. We can find mercies and find help in times of need. We don't have to go to no priest or pastor, anyone, God. We have that free access where we can come and we can tell you our burdens and our cares, Lord. We can bring our petition before you because you have made it available through your blood. And even as we come this morning, we are mindful that we do sin against you, we do fall short, we do miss the mark. And even as we come this morning, we ask for mercies, we ask for pardon, we ask for cleansing. And we thank you for your constant love and your care towards us. You said if you care for the birds and the sparrows, they not toil, not gather into barn, but you clothe them and you feed them. We are much more important. We are much more significant. Our life is much more important than theirs. And God, if you do that for them, and God, they survive day after day, God, you look after your creation, your created beings, those who are made in your likeness and your image, Lord. And be thankful that, God, your eyes are ever over us, your mercy are ever over us. They're new every day. And God, you're faithful. You're a faithful God. You always abide faithful, even when we are not faithful, oh God. You abide true when we are not true. You abide loving, even when we are not loving. You abide faithful, even when we are not faithful. You abide, oh God, you know, that care and that constant love towards us are always there. Even when we don't love you as we should, you always love because your love is an everlasting. Your love is unconditional. You don't treat us as we deserve. Because if you want to mark iniquity, even as the Bible said, no flesh should be able to stand because there's none righteous in your sight. We are all like filthy rag in your face, Lord. Our stench to come up to you, Lord. Well, we thank you because when you look at us, God, you don't see us in our own sinful, fallen state, but you see us, those of us who have recognized you as Lord and Savior, you see us justified just as we never sinned through the blood of the Lamb. And we thank you this morning that you can come with assurance. And even as we ask this morning, we want to give you thanks for all that you would have done for us and you continue to do for your mercies towards us, your faithfulness, Lord, your favor, your many blessings, providing for us day after day. We experience your goodness in the land of the living. We're in a land where we're not torn apart by war and violence and starvation and distress, oh God. And we're just so thankful. There's so many countries where there are wars and so many different things, earthquakes, so many more violence and so forth in the land, God. But we have a peaceful land so far we can sit, Lord. And God, we can go about our own with our own everyday activities with not much fear, God. And sometimes we take these little things for granted. You send us rain, or we have another hot sun, God, we complain, but God, you send us seed time, you send us harvest. You know how to meet our every need. And God, I just want to give you thanks this morning for a land that is free. And Lord, God, sometimes we live as if we are in bondage, but you have given us liberty even in Christ. We have freedom in you, oh God. We thank you for those who are at the helm of this country this morning, God. Lord, you're the one who put up and you put down. And this morning we pray for them that you would lift up their hands, every authority figure in our country this morning, every office where there's someone who is in charge, God. We continue to pray that your goodness and your mercy would be extended towards them. They would execute their office without fear, favor, or ill will. They would be merciful to those who need mercy, and they will help those who are helpless, Lord, and even those that they despise, Lord, this morning. You will cause them to know that, God, you are in charge and you're in control. We pray that they be able to do a good job, whatever vocations you have called them to. And God, wherever they are leading, God, we continue to pray for your wisdom, that they will ask of you, that they will be men and women of substance, morality, integrity. Oh God, there will be a
Filtered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada.
Honestly, don't know what happened. Looked like we just lost contact with that call there in the middle of the prayer by Sister Annette. But in all of this, we say amen and God's blessing to each and every one of you.
The fabricated vibe, just the raw truth, I flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Grand Ends to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the ear. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. Reel up the truth, select and let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriacou shores to the Greater Lake Deep. Real expression loud and the nation loud. Lyrics are a temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Big sale alert! From September 15th to the 30th, get a massive 40% off Price Buster and Magical paints at The Color Shop, Frequente Industrial Park, and all hardware partners island-wide. A limited selection of colors is available on Magicoat, so don't wait until it's too late. Shop today before stocks run out. Call 43 Paint for more details.
Angel's Beauty Salon and Barbershop, Bruce Street Mall, St. George's, your one-stop destination for all things beauty. Hair services, relaxes, waves, treatments, braids, cornrows, natural hairstyles, locks and lock installation, wig installation, nail services, acrylic nails, gel nails, pedicures, and more. Call or WhatsApp us today, 1473-403-4421 to book your appointment today.
The new Grenville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
It's in the feeling in how we talk. It's in the meaning in our spark. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what, we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa Tribe. Ooh. From Grand Anse to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I let your heart pour out. Ooh. Oh. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear.
Morning, Grenada. Morning, Carriacou. Morning, Drums. Talk to me.
Good morning to you. Good morning to the nation. A reading from the Word of God, St. Luke chapter 15, verses 18. I will arise and go to my fathers, and I will say unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and before thee, and I am no more worthy to be called the son, thy son. Make me as one of thy herd servants. And he arose and came to his father. But when he was yet a great way off, his father saw him and had compassion on him, and run and fell on his neck. And the son said unto him, Father, I have sinned against heaven and in thy sight, and I am no more worthy to be called thy son. But the father said unto his servant, Bring forth the best robe, and put it on him, and put a ring on his hand, and shoes on his feet, and bring the fattest calf, and kill it, and let us eat and be merry. This is the end of the scripture reading this morning.
Thank you, love. How are you today?
I'm good.
Okay, wonderful. Take care. Have a great day.
You have a wonderful day.
Okay, bye-bye. Drumsticks. Yeah. Good morning, Grenada. 14 minutes now it is. After 7 o'clock.
Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise.
Brands in Grenada. We supply fertilizers, herbicides, seedlings and nursery supplies, diesel water pumps, walk-behind tillers, organic and environmentally friendly agricultural inputs. We're serving you from 2 locations at Birch Grove and booth 34 at the Vendors Market in Grenville. Cost-effective agricultural solutions for all your needs. Visit Gittins Home and Garden Center for the best in everything agriculture. Call us on 409-2175 or 438-4337. Gittins Home and Garden Center, from your farm to your backyard.
In an industry where customers expect quality, M&N Hardware Limited is a leader in locally manufactured aluminum windows, doors, roofing, and guttering. Our manufacturing division is efficient, flexible, and will always go the extra mile to surpass customer expectations. If you need security, sash, casement, or projected windows, we're able to do it. Our security and heavy-duty doors are state-of-the-art and can be customized specifically for you. Using innovative coating technologies and protective film, our roofing and guttering is weather-resistant, providing outstanding color retention for many years. Available in 24 and 26 gauge and a variety of color options. We are the leading company, a family that is proving to customers they can have their dream products. M&N Hardware Limited. Foundation to roof, let's build together.
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visually, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
The new Grenville Credit Union debit card has made online shopping easier than ever. Quick, secure, and hassle-free. Just tap, pay, and shop with confidence. Get yours today.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free. On the radio, see. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth I flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. From Grand Anse to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now, I let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. From Carriacou shores to the
It is real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.drealfmgrenada.com. I say it's a wonderful morning. See, this week I'm getting all sorts of surprises. Yeah, a brother who's been out for a long time. I haven't heard him for a long time. It's good to hear him this morning. Mr. Wynn, good morning to you, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Andre. I'm a good man, back in the airport.
Oh, yeah, it's nice to have you back, my brother. Nice to have you back.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Welcome. Anyway, let's go on to business. Here is the weather for today, Tuesday, the 23rd of September. Currently at Pointsley, we're experiencing fair conditions. Winds are from the east at 13 miles per hour. Barometric pressure is 1011.9 millibars, which is below normal and rising. The present temperature is 29.1 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity is 81%. Yesterday's maximum temperature recorded was 33.7 degrees Celsius, and the minimum temperature last night was 27.4 degrees Celsius. Over the past 24 hours, there was 0.9 millimeters of rainfall recorded at Pointsley, which brings September's total to 58.9 millimeters. Now let's go to the public forecast for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with light to moderate isolated showers, increasing cloudiness and showers as the day progresses with possible thunderstorms. Note there is a low chance of flash flooding in areas so prone. Today's maximum temperature is expected to have 31.5 degrees Celsius, with winds coming from the east to southeast at 12 to 22 miles per hour, gusting higher with showers. Seas are expected to be moderate with waves 4 to 6 feet in open waters. Tides are currently falling and will reach a low at 11 o'clock this morning. The right reach a high at 4:30 this afternoon. Sunset is evening at 2 minutes past 6, and sunrise tomorrow morning is at 4 minutes to 6. Just to recap, here's the public forecast for today and tonight for Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The weather is expected to be partly cloudy with light to moderate isolated showers, increasing cloudiness and showers as the day progresses with possible thunderstorms. And note there is a low chance of flash flooding in areas so prone. For the mid-service at the Bishop International Airport, this is Eugene Wind.
Thank you, Eugene. What's the heat going to be like today again?
The temperature, in terms of the heat, it's like, to be honest, it's a forecast where a little bit uncertainty. If the rain falls, I do expect the maximum temperature to be so high as yesterday and the previous days, which was 33.7 yesterday. But I expecting the dominant feature to be the rainfall from the tropical wave, which is it will more impact the northern West Antilles, but we look at it affecting us too also, becoming like the convection move migrating towards our area. So if the rainfall, it might not be a very hot day, but if the rain doesn't fall, it could be unheated, a similar day to yesterday. But what I can see tomorrow looking like you'll go back to the usual pattern of a very hot day.
Okay, thank you. Well, I suffered from that yesterday. Yesterday was a terrible day.
Yeah, well, like, I was telling you, like, off air, well, I came from New Zealand, right, which is a temperate climate that was always cold, right? So coming back to here is kind of insane, right? I can't take it on again, to be honest.
No. Don't pretend that you're saying that because you want to go again, right, Eugene?
No, it's just that, you get to recognize how hot Grenada could be, especially during the hurricane season, right?
Yeah.
Especially when the wind not blowing. Like,
well, my brother, it's nice to have you back, and we'll talk.
Yeah, man, give me a call privately, man. We have to talk, man, you know.
Okay, we'll do, Eugene. Take care of yourself.
Yeah, man, later. Have a good day, man.
You too. It's real. It's 91.9. Eugene went to the Bishop International Airport. Yeah, he's back after a period. Yeah, we'll find out. We'll do a 20 questions with him, don't you think? Yeah, we'll do a 20 questions with him one of these days. This is real. 91.9. Stay with us.
Today.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, hear the airwaves free read. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar coat
FM at the vessel, your message fill the air. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9, the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues, farmer hymn the rain. Mama shares her wisdom, youths them chant for change. The radio no silence the struggles we face. Amplify the joy, the pain, the grace. Not making of the rhythm, cocoa in the bass. Real FM hold the mirror to the spice all face. We love the truth selector, let the people speak. 91.9, no weak heart, no meek. From Carriacou shores to the Crater Lake deep. Real expression loud and the nation loves. Here is our temple, the DJ is the priest. Every song a sermon, every word released. No censorship, no chains, just the soul laid bare. Grenada's heartbeat pulsing through the FM here. When the storm take the island, the signal still repair. Real FM 91.9, the sound of prayer. Real expression, real vibration. 91.9, the soul of the nation. Keep the frequency alive, no hesitation. Grenada voice rise.
Junkie, I believe you better fix your radio, yeah? Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't no adjustments made, Junkie. Something's wrong with your system. You need to take it to the shop, bro. What's up, Grenada? Good morning.
Real expression.
Yeah, real expressions, real vibrations. 7:31. That's. We have a guest this morning? Yes, we do.
Real expression on
Shortly, at 7:45.
unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tuning out the spice.
Yeah, Chunky, take that radio to the shop and have it looked into. Something's wrong with your phone or whatever. Something's wrong with it. I bet you realize that something's wrong with it now. Something's wrong with Grenada too, you know. Something is really and truly wrong with Grenada. No, here's what. I'm still trying to grapple with, and I know it's the geniuses. They're going to be upset with me, but I'm still going to try to grapple with. I'm still trying to grapple with it. Oh boy, what am I talking about? Oh, I forgot. Sherman, you want to know who's my guest today? Oh, it's a simple gentleman. We'll be talking a couple of things about weather and everything like that. Yeah, sort of a difference. Tuesday with a difference. Remember Tuesday with a difference? Right. But it'll be very interesting though. Well, if you ask me what was my takeaway from the what you call it yesterday, the press conference yesterday, I was just like flabbergasted to understand that the government is trying to swindle the people of Grenada. Yeah, the government tried to take your money. That's what the government tried to do. I really and truly cannot understand that. Honestly, I can't. That one I couldn't understand at all. The government trying to take the people's money. What? Okay. Why would the government want to borrow from you? When a government floats a bond, when a government put a bond on the Eastern Caribbean Stock Exchange, ECSE, I think that's what it is. When a government puts that, is basically government looking for money. A government cannot have money. Or a government would not have money and then float a bond. You float bonds when you're broke. You need to raise cash. So you're floating the bonds now and you're saying, hey, Grenadians, it's time for you to invest. I'm giving you the opportunity to invest. Hell! I'm not telling people not to invest, but I'm saying, hello, is it the first time? I don't know. Is it the first time? I can't tell people not to invest. I can't. You mad? That's treason. They should lock me up for that. I can't tell people not to invest. But I'm saying that, wow, government? I know y'all do. I really and truly don't know what y'all up to, but I just honestly feel like government broke. So they need that sort of investment. You want to do it, fine by me. Go ahead. Go ahead. If you want to do it, go ahead. Nobody is stopping you. But I really can't understand it. And in essence here, the government will be, boy, I had to get somebody who understands the maths to explain that for me. Yeah. Because I honestly believe that the government will be taking your money and then using your money to pay back your money. It kind of puzzling here, but that's what it is. Because if you invest here and then the bonds will mature in 2 years, then it is taxpayers' money that have to, your own money that you paying tax with has to pay you back. They may as well just give you tax break. Yeah, they may as well give you a tax break and ask you to open a factory or get in, some kind of. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, according to my good friend a Chameleon here, that look like a GoFundMe. A different twist to the GoFundMe. Seriously, I don't know. And I need to speak to someone who understands the maths better than I do and has no political affiliation, so they go point finger. You understand? Yeah. I don't know who. I wish I can get someone. Oh boy. Somebody's calling me right now. So, you know what? I will take a commercial break and I will deal with that and I'll come right back to you, okay? Stay with us.
Real expression on 901.
It is said, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. Therefore, the authenticity of the beverage can only be acquired in the taste. A taste which is original to Antoine de Beauregard Industries and comes from a combination of spices and local rum, which can hold its own all over the world. Woodman, a strength which speaks for itself. A taste which stands out from the rest, bottled with care, which speaks to perfection. Try Woodman today and be stunned by a flavor as never before. Let your palate savor that which is produced locally. Do not be deterred by substandard products. Our taste speaks volumes and sets us apart from the competition. You will be satisfied with every sip of our product. Say rum, say Woodman, feel satisfaction. Now that's quality.
Classic Furniture. Our items are made from the best local wood available on island. Our products are made with love, care, and the experience we have gained over the years. Why do you even contemplate using substandard furniture, which is imported, when you can get the best made right here in Grenada? Our factory is located in the cultural village of Chantimel and our showroom on Benjoon Street, St. Andrew. We are also noted for refurbishing that piece of furniture to its initial look. When looking for quality furniture, there is only one place to look, and that's Classic Furniture, where we take care of your needs with utmost care. So give us a call today and put your furniture woes to rest. Classic Furniture, where love and luxury is combined to provide the ultimate satisfaction. Call us today on 442-4645. Classic Furniture.
Real expression on 919 Real FM. Unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tuning on the spice side, where the airwaves free read. A night for my night. On the radio see. Whoa!
to St. George this. The people them a shout. Real expression now I let your heart pour out. Ooh, oh, microphone to the heavens. The signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM are the vessel, your message fill the ear. Speak your truth, Grenada, where your heart there. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Real expression, real connection. 91.9 the righteous reflection. From the hills to the harbor, hear the nation sing. Real FM, the sound where make freedom ring. Fisherman chant the blues.
7:40. That's our time. Yeah, I did tell you that I have a guest with me this morning. Well, yeah, usually, we start with guests around 7:45 there, but so I still have a 5 minutes to dingle on my own still. Yeah, but my guest is already here. Tomorrow morning, I do have another guest. That's Michael Batiste. Yeah, he'll be on tomorrow morning. Do I have a special guest on Thursday? No, I don't believe I have a special guest on Thursday. And Friday, yeah, we go slam, bang, 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 bang on Friday. But the thing is, as I indicated to you, I cannot understand. The government has given a reason for floating their bonds on the market, and when you float bonds, basically you're looking to raise monies. That's what it is. Ain't nothing different. It is what it is. What I cannot understand is why a government who had over $530 million in the treasury when they came into office. That was like 3 years and a couple of months ago. $118 that they had after Hurricane Beryl. A number of countries pledging support and giving monies to Grenada after Hurricane Beryl. The borrowing of $100 million. Yeah. The borrowing of that money. And the claim from the government that things are really going well in relation to their collections and so on. So the question begs to be asked. Yeah, the question begs to be asked. If a country is doing so well, why is that country seeking to borrow money from its citizens? Why is that country raising money from its citizens? It doesn't look well to me. And my friend in Trinidad, yeah, I don't even know his name. He calls her so often. I wish he would call one of these days, and I'll ask him, hey, what's going on here? Give me a reason for this, because he seems to be one of the persons that you will consider to be neutral and straight up and above board, that kind of thing. I don't think that he is politically motivated. Do you? No, I don't. So I wish I can get him to call me one of these mornings, and maybe he will. And when he does call me, that will be the first question I'd ask him. Hey, what's happening? Why we have bonds and, we looking towards the citizens of the nation to raise money. Bonds that will mature in what? 2 years, hopefully. Yeah, you have to say hopefully, because the government or anybody can project that, hey, we're doing bonds or whatever, and we project that these bonds will mature in 2 years, 3 years, 1 year, whatever. But it doesn't mean that it will, because you never know what the financial situation can be throughout the world. So you can find that you want the bonds to mature at a particular point in time. You want the bonds to mature, and it doesn't. It wouldn't be the first time it happens. It happens. That happens. All right, somebody's saying to me, all governments float bonds KCM used to float bonds a lot. Don't open a can of worms. No, I'm not opening any can of worms here. I'm just saying that if you float in bonds like that, does it mean that you're broke? I'm just asking the question here. If you believe that they're not broke, you can tell me that. And I ain't have no problems with you telling me that if you believe that that the government is not broke. You know, all government floating bonds, I would agree. But this government that claimed to be doing so well at this particular point in time, why are they floating bonds? But that's the next thing for another day. As I said to you, 7:45 is our time, and I've got a guest here with me this morning, so stay with me. I'll be right back.
9 Real FM, unfiltered truth, cultural pride, and the power of radio to amplify voices in Grenada. Whoa! Tune in on the spice side, where the airwaves free read. A night for my night. On the radio see. Whoa! No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe, just the raw truth a flow like Mount Kwakwa tribe. Oh, from Grand Anse to St. George, this the people them a shout. Real expression now hide, let your heart pour out. Microphone to the heavens, the signal strong and clear. Voices of the voiceless, the oppressed, the sincere. Real FM, the vessel, your message fill the ear. Speak your truth, Grenada, where you.
Yeah, I'm back with you.
Real expression.
Real expressions, that's what it is.
91.
7:46 is our time now. Good morning once again, Grenada, Carriacou, Petite Martinique, and the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, especially the folks in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. Top of the morning to you, and here's hoping that you are having a fabulous day. I know, you know, that heat, it went up to something above 33.5 yesterday. That's hot. That's really hot. And to those in Carriacou who have to deal with tents at this particular point in time, I dread to think how you felt yesterday. There may be some rain today, as was forecast. There may be some rain today, so that could bring a bit of relief. But then again, while the rain may bring relief from the heat, then you're exposed to water wetting you and flowing in the middle of your living room. It's kind of tough for you folks in Carriacou and Petite Martinique. I know. Tough for folks on mainland Grenada too. Yeah, there are some folks it's really tough for. Why is it that I have someone? I just said I have a guest and somebody's calling me. Now let me find out, what is it you want? Good morning.
Yes, sir.
Good morning.
Yes, sir. Give me a little idea of this floating bonds, how you float bonds.
Nah, that is not my topic this morning, so I will not go into that, my brother.
But you spoke about it.
Yeah, I did. I did say I speak, but I said I have a guest, and I'm just about to introduce my guest. I'm not going to get caught up in floating bonds. I think the best person to answer that question would be somebody who is really financial. I can just speak about it, how to say, in passing. I can't totally speak with too much authority, and I'm sorry, I will not be able to do that. I have a guest tomorrow morning. You might want to ask that guest at that time. He was a minister of government, so he probably would know exactly what that is about. Okay?
Okay, I hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah. Come back to basics, Andre. Oh, right. Yeah. That's what I have. No, I have Hubert White in studio with me this morning. And, well, you know, Hubert has spent all his life, basically. Was it his first job? We'll find out. It could have been his first job. And definitely his last job like that. And he's retired now. And he studied meteorology. And what we find, one of the things, and he will be explaining that plus a number of other things this morning. But one of the things I really want to find out from him, well, I heard a couple of months ago that if you're going to take water from the river, for instance, that you had to indicate such and you had to I got the impression that you probably had to pay because you had to indicate as to how much water you took from the river and where you took it and all sort of things like that. I was like, oh, what? That's a river? Who bothers about that? And, he said to me, no, you're wrong, Andre. You're wrong on that one. We should be very concerned about what happens to our rivers. And he went into us at all the things, and I was like, okay, fine, let's have something. Let's talk about that. And let's speak a bit about data collection. Yeah. Do we do data collection in Grenada? Look at what Nawasa is doing, for instance. And they're taking water from the rivers because there's a project that's going to take water from Grande Tang and send it all the way into St. David's and maybe do some bottling or whatever. So all sorts of crazy things Nawasa is doing. I get the feeling sometimes that when Nawasa finish everything like that, the pipes will get rusty because we wouldn't have water. But anyway, let me say good morning to Hubert White. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good morning to you, Andre, and good morning to all your listeners. I'm doing very good.
My listeners,
I'm happy to be here.
My listeners,
our listeners.
Yeah, they're your listeners
Yes.
this morning too. So it's our listeners.
Correction is accepted.
So everything good?
Yes.
Yeah. How's the farm?
It's going good. Yesterday we had a nice day work. Very, very nice.
Yeah, nice day work yesterday.
What
did you...
why I call it nice is a section of the land that is well cultivated and then the grass start growing up, make it look ugly, So after cutting the grass and you trim the trees there and you look back at it, it's an example of how I would want the whole field look. Because there in that area, years ago I lost some cocoa trees there with a tree falling from the other side of the river, crash, break them up, so we had to cut them up. So as we cut them up, now we planted that area with planting and bananas, etc. Put a lot of tanya between it, and then also stick maybe over 35 young nutmeg trees, and to see them progressing. And some of the cocoa trees are the cut, the stump, it start growing up fresh and producing. It looks very, 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 very good. The guy did a good job.
So that will be down in McVeigh, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm wondering, cocoa trees, nutmeg trees, big tree falling, that can't be up Snell Hall. That ain't look like up Snell Hall. Where is more, McVeigh or Snell Hall?
Snell Hall is more.
Is more. Yeah. And what do you have planted up there?
Snell Hall used to be a lot of cocoa, but we lost a lot through storm and neglect. When I was on the job, it was difficult to keep the land as I should. And there's a lot of it that is not cultivated in terms of cocoa. So I'm putting a lot of bananas there now so that I could put some cocoa next year, hopefully if I get plants. And then I usually use the top of the top side, which is sort of dry, for peas and corn and sorrel, potato, etc.
So you grow corn for roasting and things, for selling for roasting?
Well, I prefer to grow corn to produce corn flour.
Why?
Well, roasting, you roast corn and somebody get a snack out of that. But if you produce 1,000 pounds of corn flour, imagine 100 farmers producing 1,000 pounds of corn flour, and then they will be able to keep it. And then you have a blockade where you cannot ship coming in, you cannot get flour. That will be a real asset to the state. So I love producing staple food because we have the sea, we can catch a fish. We have Andalan guys, they have chicken. But in terms of staple, what we realize our staple is not, when you use the word sustainable, or in terms of if the wind comes, they could throw down all the bananas, breadfruits produced, and then afterwards all finished in 2 weeks' time. So Grenada government, in terms of the food security, but how the guys say that there is food supremacy, we need to have some staples, be it cassava, be it corn, because we don't have rice and we don't have wheat. Because we need to have some staple that have a fairly good shelf life, and that's where corn flour will come in.
But cassava doesn't have a shelf life, does
Of course, very good shelf life too. If you do it in farine, or you could do cassava flour.
Oh,
we need to get
I'm talking about just the pure cassava like that.
Well, the storage is in the ground.
In the ground.
Once cassava mature, it cannot be over mature. It could be left there for a long time. So you could harvest it at will. Unlike yams grow after times and it cannot be used. And then potato start rotting. I believe in terms of storage, 100 grams, subject to correction. cassava has a good storage.
Storage life is like the ground is the refrigerator
Yeah.
for cassava. All right. I started off by saying, White, that we heard not too very long ago a department of government speaking in relation to putting, is it valves and so, where people are pumping water from the river so you
Yeah.
know how much water. I remember speaking to you about that and you say, oh, hush your mouth on that. You didn't know too much in that. I'll tell you about that one day. Tell us about that collectively here.
Well, Andrew, the water resources, or water, is one of the most important natural resources we have.
Well, the most,
Yes,
I dare say.
yes, the most. And in terms of country that doesn't have a good source of natural water, have to do desalination. A matter of fact, Antigua, something for the tourism industry, they barge in water from Dominica to give the tourist boat.
Really?
Yeah, they barge in water sometimes. Recently, they have set up a nice desal plant. Now, basically in Grenada, we have two forms of fresh water. We have surface and we have subsurface. Surface in terms of rivers and lakes. Subsurface is underground, what we call borehole water. And water as a resource must be managed.
Yeah.
And it is not an infinite resource as how some people think. You know, sometimes people look at the water, for example, in what we call a river mouth or in a lagoon or a bushery. And you look, typical example is bushes, you look at a lot of water, you see this is water wasting, but it's not water wasting. This water has its purpose. From a river, for example, the main user is for domestic purposes, which is NASA manages that. So they will have the highest, what we call extraction point, because it doesn't want to take in an area that is contaminated. But, hello, they cannot take all to send to the homes. Let's take a river, for example, Annandale. Right now is Grenada's largest water treatment plant. But just below Annandale, you have a waterfall, which is part of our tourist attraction. And as far as I know, it was listed out. So if now was going to use all for domestic purpose, the guy who is listing it doesn't have water in his waterfall.
Okay.
Lower down, you need to supply farmers.
Yeah.
Then you have what you call in washing. People will wash. People will go for a river bath, entertainment. And as in the river Baltazar area, we have river tubing. We have people, and then you have the natural section, which is the marine ecosystem. And they usually use something called biodiversity. Bio, is life, and diversity is wide range. So the rivers sustain a wide range of living things, both plants and animals. So if we use all that water, the natural biodiversity will be affected. And of course, where the fresh water intersects the salt water, that's normally very strong area for hatchlings. So fishes will deposit their juvenile fish eggs there, and you'll find a lot of juvenile fish in this area. So if you don't have a good flow of water, you will affect your fisheries division as well. So you also need water for construction. Now, I'm not sure what the bill address, if they will charge the farmers, but a water resource management authority who is responsible must know how much water is being extracted from the river. And they will have to know if you need to extract more, you should apply, mainly for the purpose of monitoring. So they will be able to look at the capacity of the river and say, hello, we cannot afford another pump on this river. We will damage the environment. So that's one of the main purposes of the monitoring. You don't do things arbitrarily. Yeah. But something I really wanted to speak about is the whole science behind water. And it's something a lot of people not acquainted with. That word you call hydrology, which is the study of your water, both surface and subsurface. Hydrology is a relatively new science to Grenada. When I went to study meteorology in Barbados in 1983, the name of the school, the institution, was CMI, Caribbean Meteorological Institute. While I'm there about 2 months, something new started there. Another institute was formed within that institute called COHI, or the Center for Operational Hydrology. And it was very strange what the guys, they had to do surveys, they have to do a lot of things. But then it was developed so much that the school was renamed CIMH, Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology. And of course, we expect all the islands to have a hydrological department. Certain hydrological department like Barbados, Trinidad, Jamaica is very, very, very large. Grenada does not have a dedicated hydrological department, and that's very, very sad.
Should we?
We should. Andrea, the office which I was manager of, we say Grenada Meteorological Service, really it should be called National Meteorological and Hydrological Services. For example, if anything concerns hydrology, it is communicated through that office. That's the practice in Guyana, of course. So Guyana Met Office takes care of the hydrological services, they take care of the agro-meteorological services, and generally general meteorological services under one heading. And I think that's the way we should go. The reason why NAWASA is a commercial company, let's face it.
Yeah.
And NAWASA is not concerned about taking water where it's available. They will take water from where it is more convenient. For example, what should be the normal practice is that that authority should be acting on their own. And they should be the ones should be collecting the data, analyzing the data, so they will know how much water they have is available in the river. Because they know how much is the intake via rainfall, they know how much is the loss via use, via seepage, via evapotranspiration, that is evaporation of water from the leaves of the trees, etc. So they will know how much is available for domestic use. So for example, if NAWASA need 50,000 gallons more for St. George, they apply to the authority, and the authority say, yes, it's available in Mount Royal River. Now there goes the challenge. NAWASA need it for Grenans. Where's in Mount Royal? That will be a heavy cost, and it will be very difficult for them financially. So as a result of that, what you find, the rivers closer to the city, where the water is most needed, will be heavily exploited. And that is the case with Les Avocats, and that's the case with Annandale. And I'm telling you that because I know that, and anyone listening, they could challenge me and ask questions and correct me too if I'm wrong. You see, Andrew, one of the things that Grenada is mandated to do is to have a drought policy. And within the drought policy, there is something called a DUIS, which is a drought warning information system. And we have to publish that report monthly. And in that report, they will have what is taking place on the various dams. If a dam is being low, NAWASA report it, and the Met Office publish it. We'll be also looking at the rainfall pattern. What has been the rainfall for the month? Is it above average? Is it below average? And these are the things that is very, very, very important for us to know. And then you will have to look at the upcoming season, whether it's the dry season coming up or the rainy season. So Grenada have to do a drought policy. And we had a lot of difficulties doing that drought policy. We have started. I believe they have done one now when I was at the office. And Andrew, that one is very, very, very troubling, the drought policy. When the drought policy had to be formulated, there was through the same school, CIMH. So Grenada had to select a team to go to Antigua for the training. So we had Ms. Samantha Dixon from NADMA. We had Mr. Ram Kelawan from the Ministry of Health, because water and health is very, very important. Then we had Ms. Celia Edwards from Ministry of Agriculture. And we had Thomas guy from Nawasa and myself from the Met Office. And we went to Antigua. And we do the basic training. So we had to come back to Grenada now. As all Mr. Trotman, who was heading the process, will tell you. What they gave us is a skeleton. We have to put flesh on it now. In other words, you have the framework of the policy.
Yeah.
So you have to put the information. So we had several meetings that we to call right in Grenada. And strange enough, the Nawasa representative never attended one. Imagine water, drought, and the Nawasa representative never attended any of the training in Grenada.
Did they give a reason? No?
He always busy. And I could tell you, the guy in the Ministry of Health, Mr. Jerry Ramkelawan, is the busiest person. I know, but will always pop in that training and those meetings. He'll call you and say, okay, 5 minutes and I'll be there. But he will be there, busy. While there you see, sometimes he's called up on the phone to deal with something else. And then we had some problem, we had some hiccups, but I believe after somebody has drafted a new policy for Grenada, I'm not sure. But I'm saying that to emphasize the callous regard for hydrological services in Grenada. And it's a very, very serious one. Hydrology deals with your water, and not just the amount you have and where it is, but the movement of the water, which is very, very important, the movement of the water. And Andre, why I'm telling you this, one of the things we do in hydrology, soil testing. Because we know along our river course, there's a lot of agricultural activity because of the availability of water. And these farmers, short crop farmers, they use a lot of chemical.
Yeah.
They use pesticide, they use fertilizer, weedicide. So your hydrology is supposed to be testing this area to know the rate at which these chemicals could get into our water. Although it's under the extraction point, we have to look at the juvenile fishes, what effect it may have on them. And just to add something to that, I remember recently my good friend, I hope he's listening, Clifford, spoke about the water and the land and the canal. It has belonged to Cocoa Board, and it was going to do formentary. Do you know why that project stopped? Not because of the amount of cocoa, the closeness to the river.
Interesting.
The closeness to the river. They don't want this chemical or the cocoa juice going into the river.
Well, it's actually the mouth of the river.
Yeah.
That would have killed everything.
Now, recently, I had to walk. I went on service with my van. I had to walk from that junction, we call it Decor Junction, to the city to get a bus. So I looked at the river. I know that river is small rivers. There's a section that comes from Tempe area, past to the back of the Coke factory. And the other section comes from Lamode area. And Andre, where they meet, I was shocked to see the difference. Because of the detergent and other things used in the Coke factory and it washes into the river, that water looks so ugly, unlike the one that comes from Lamode. And this is some of the things we have to be very, very careful. Hydrologists have to investigate so that you cannot just flow your waste into the river.
Okay. Let me take you back a bit and ask this question here. Me trying to be educated this morning. Hydrometeorology, is that a term, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How does that link with weather science and water resource management?
Well, meteorology, we know you do with a lot of rainfall.
Yeah.
So the hydrologists or the hydromet people will use depends a lot on meteorological data.
Okay.
And that is why, for example, Nawasa manages more rain gauge than the Met Office.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
It's a good thing if they have the expertise to do it and if they're doing it properly.
Okay.
And Andrew, that is something that I'm very, very concerned about. They normally send the report for us at the end of the month so that we can put it on a GIS map to look at the rainfall pattern.
What is GIS?
Huh?
What is GIS? Government
Geographical Information System.
Ah, you see, yeah, we had the
GIS.
geographical
Information System.
All right, good.
Right, so we put it on the and we do it. Andrew, one of the greatest surprise was in the Mount Rule area.
Okay.
The Ministry of Agriculture run a rain gauge there. And Nawasa runs one in the Mount Rule water treatment plant.
Okay, so that's right there.
And the difference was
Chalk and cheese?
wide apart. The reading for the month.
Why?
I have no idea. But I could. I
Speculate.
give some suggestion. One of the things we have, especially the Ministry of Agriculture, the rain gauge are read by untrained professionals. The Ministry of Agriculture, the section of ministry that concerns that is Land Use Division. And one of them is run by Mr. Charlie Francis. I don't know if you know Charlie Francis in Paddock.
Yeah.
And Mr. Francis is since in 1988. This is his first time and the only time I know he called on the untrained volunteers to a one-day workshop. And they called me down to the training too, but I ended up having to be a trainer.
Okay.
And only then I realized how much the people doesn't understand reading a rain gauge. And to tell you how much rain gauge we had one in Davie, we have in McGraw College, quite a lot. But it was untrained people. And then I had to take up the training and tell them, for example, if you're reading a rain gauge, you should put your back to the wind. It may be a small amount of water, and the wind could blow it away and you lose that reading. Also, they didn't know the idea of throwing back rain. And that's an interesting one. Throw back the rainfall. Rain gauges are read for that purposes, daily rain gauges, about 8 in the morning. But imagine at 8 o'clock in the morning, I read and I get 10 millimeters of rain. Today is the 23rd. This rainfall is not for the 23rd. That's for the 22nd. So we call it a throw it back.
Throw back. Okay.
So that day, which you call the climatological day, ends at 8 o'clock and a new day starts at 8. Thereabouts. So once you read at 8, that will go back for
So we
the
seem
past
to,
12
we seem
hours.
to have some sort of a discrepancy in relation to rain gauges and who monitors and who does
A lot of
a good job.
discrepancies.
Now, the question then can be asked, how does the same GIS that you just mentioned, how does that support the analysis of meteorological and hydrological data?
Well, Andre, if you start with nonsense, you will end up with nonsense. So sometimes, when we look at the rainfall data we'll get, it may not give you the best of the analysis. And that is why, in terms of drought monitoring, the only rainfall gauge what is used is the one at Point Selene. Because it's the only one that reaches standard, and the workers are certified. And which makes it very difficult to come up with a rainfall prediction, because Point Selene is such a dry area. It's not the best place to collect data. And Andre, there is something again too that when you're collecting data, you have to get is metadata. And the one sounds strange.
Yeah, tell us, what is metadata?
Metadata is the data about the data. Right, let me put it in prospect for you.
Please.
The data about the data. Okay, so Andrew Donald decided to set up a rain gauge at the back of the station. Fine, put up a rain gauge. So your metadata will ask what type of rain gauge, the make, the size. They come in two sizes, 5 inches and 8 inch. And this is what I believe was the problem with Mount Rule. They use a 5-inch gauge, a 5-inch cylinder on an 8-inch gauge.
No, that makes sense for me.
Then you make a lot of mistake. So then your metadata will say where your station is located in terms of degrees and minutes, your height above sea level, what standard you use to expose it. Is it that World Meteorological Organization standard, or sometimes you can't meet the standard, you have to file a difference and say, unfortunately, it is some obstruction is close to it and whatnot. Then you will have to say the training the personnel have. So it's the data about the whole rain gauge. So the people using the data will know how to use it because you give them the background information of where it is located and whatever shortcomings it may have. The other thing about data in meteorology, and the data management of meteorology is a special area called climatology. You only start using relevant data when you accumulate 30 years of data.
Oh, so then you can start to see patterns.
Yes. They call it a climatological standard normal. And I could tell you, the Ministry of Agriculture, nor the NASA, none of them have 30 years of solid quality check data. Only the Met Office at the MBI.
So what do you say are the main sources of the meteorological data?
The main
sources?
Well, the main data that we have at the airport that is digitized is temperature and rainfall, and very, very important. We have others too, like barometric pressure, but I'm in the process of digitizing it. And I give you an example. We were in a meeting, and we had people from climate change, and we had people from Ministry of Agriculture, and they was asking who have 30 years of data. And I called the Met Office, and in 5 minutes' time, the gentleman query could have get 30 years of rainfall data from the airport. No other agency in Grenada could do that, despite the amount of rain gauge that they are managing.
So where's the data going? Or is the data being collected? Are they just
collected? You know the quality. Most of it is just. And there is a very, very sad situation. I went to Maribor, and I wish a lot of people could be listening to me and question it. As how you say, like and share.
Yeah, like and share.
Invite people to listen to that program. I went to purchase corn plants in Maribor, and I look on a shelf, and there on the shelf was sitting a brand new Campbell Stokes Sunshine Recorder.
Say that in English, please.
A brand new Campbell Stokes Sunshine Recorder.
Sunshine.
Sunshine Recorder.
And sunshine.
Yeah. It's an equipment that records the duration of bright sunshine. It consists of a sphere. The sphere might be about between 4 to 6 inches in diameter. Like how Jesse will call it, he call it the ball for Ubia.
Yeah.
And that sits in a sort of arc, like a portion of a bowl. And there's a special paper that is below it in the groove. And as the sun shines, it burns. And its time is written on it, hours. So if rain comes, no burning. So at the end of the month, you take this data and you measure the amount of bright sunshine day and you add it up. Now, this information is very important. It's not that you have to relate it to something. In other words, if you notice that you have a serious drop in egg production, you could go back to that data and look at maybe we didn't have enough bright sunshine. So it's very important data that
And
is
where
still
was this piece
on
of
a shelf?
Where?
Maribor.
As in Maribor, as in the
agriculture station.
Agriculture station.
It's sitting there, brand new. Met Office doesn't have one.
And that is one that they could use.
That they could use. I'll come back to that. Right now, for example, we look at NAWASA's project, and that is the Burning East, you know. It's 125 million EC dollars. And it's GQs in terms of climate resilience in the water sector. Very important. I wish someone from NAWASA could tell the public how much of that money is spent on hydrological studies. You know, study the amount of water you have, what is your low time, what it falls to during the dry season, what it rises in the wet season. Could they tell me how much money they spend on what we call watershed management? Your watershed is basically your land around the river, especially above the extraction point. The type of trees and how you handle the trees there.
No, but stop right there. Stop right there. When you talk about trees, I'm happy you mentioned that. I have heard that they're clearing the forests of what do you call it, blue maho trees, because they claim that the blue maho trees causes less water to go into the ground because of the droppage of the leaves or whatever.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah,
but if they come to that conclusion with facts, with studies, so be it. But you just don't do something arbitrary or so somebody say that. So if you take a decision like that, you should come through years of study. Now coming back to that, so how much money did they spend on the watershed? Right. Basically, we see a lot of pipes put it down and a building storage tank. No, a storage tank is not the answer. It is good. But you look at, for example, Shantimel tank supply, Darby Shantimel, they're basically 2 days supply. So what we need to do is to have data on our water resource. And the big question is, do they have the equipment to monitor the data? And Andre, that point is so touching. Eh? Many years ago, I think it was when I just took up the management position, as I said, most equipment come through the Met Office because they view it as the hydrological service likewise. So we got a stream gauge, but it was from Nawasa. So I called them, and I could not move it just from the airport like that. The accounting procedure at the airport is very tough. There's something called a TMA. Once it reaches an airport plate, it becomes the property of the airport.
Yeah.
So I could not just get them to hand it over. They had to go through the books. At the end of the year, when they do the audits, they will ask where this equipment is. So I know it was then, for technical purposes, had to be transferred to Nawasa as a gift. I don't know. It came through the airport and becomes a property of the Grenada Airports Authority. But I got them. So the person who, I think he was the manager of transmission distribution, when his name was Mr. Lewis from Guelph. I think Mr. Lewis was trained in Cuba. So we went and we looked at it and he said, okay, we think we will install that above the extraction point in Concord. And I think it's a very good area to do it.
Okay.
Because you will see what get into the dam, how much daily, when is the highs, when is the low. To the best of my ability, Mr. Donald, I think that equipment is still sitting in the warehouse on the coronation. I'll give you the second case in point. And I'm very, very serious about that. I want somebody to call. I want people who are listening in authority to follow that. I'll give you another case in point. There was some studies we were doing online or meeting through the university in Jamaica. St. Augustine?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, St. Augustine is
St. Augustine is
Trinidad. Yeah. Mona in Jamaica, yeah.
So at the end of that, we had some equipment. But when I look at it, 3 pieces of equipment was all for Nawasa to do stream gauging. Andre, Donald, and listeners of Real FM, I want you all to know that that equipment was so important. It was during COVID time that they used the RSS aircraft to deliver it to Grenada. And to the best of my knowledge, it is not deployed in the field as yet.
By
Nawasa.
You know, I am.
But we are taking water from river
arbitrarily
without the data. So as you rightly said, we'll end up with pipe without water. I hope that doesn't happen. I hope the guesswork pays out, but the scientific data is not being used, it is not being relied on for that expansion. You look at it and say, Seven Sisters Fall, that they're diverting some water from there into Les Avocats, I believe. Les Avocats is a treatment plant, from my knowledge, while working in the Met Office and doing the Jewish report, has been suffering from over-extraction because it fails during the wet season. Once you have a little drop in the rainfall during the wet season, Les Avocats fails, so the water is not enough. So it's suffering from what we call over-extraction. So that is why they're trying to take some water from Seven Sisters Fall. What amount do we have in Seven Sisters Fall? Do we have any equipment? I'm asking for the public and Nawasa. Do we have any equipment on that water source to know how much we can divert? How would that affect our flora and fauna? How would that affect our tourism industry? How would that affect the marine system and the biodiversity in that area? Because water have a diverse amount of use. So these are the things you have to do. You cannot make decisions without studying the water. As a matter of fact, there's so much talk about that artificial lake that had to be set up in Shambhala storage.
Yeah.
The water was supposed to be taken from Highgate.
Yeah.
The documents came to me and the people was asking.
That's why you were still a manager of the Met Office.
Yes. Where is data? We have no data. I sent it to Nawasa. Nawasa has no stream flow data on the St. Patrick's River. This river is called the large St. Patrick's River. That's the official name.
Yeah.
And the one on there is the small St. Patrick's River. And the list goes on and on as to the negligence of the company with our most important resource, our water.
I took a bus into work this morning, and the bus driver said to me, as soon as we hit top of the stairs right there, he said, "No, I say again, whole weekend passed, whole day yesterday passed, they still didn't do anything in relation to that thing. All the way you pass, they only his words, all the way you pass, they only pressure testing. He said, you know, Andre, Nawasa is the worst public utility company in Grenada. I didn't say anything.
No.
And that's coming from, as you say, a man on the street. Literally, he's a bus driver. And what you're saying to us this morning is that Nawasa has been happy-go-lucky over the years.
Yeah.
But who can pull them in line?
The government have to do it.
Okay.
You see, Andrew, I don't even recall on a previous occasion, I told you what Nawasa is not a service company. It's a company that is money making. We find, for example, when we have a meteorological drought, no water in the south, people cried out, Nawasa. Did you ever hear the government fire the board?
No.
If one day, 2 months pass and they cannot pay salary, the government will fire the board. Because people will start complaining and the government will get the blame. I know in the next election they will put them down as a result of that. So it's not a service company are concerned about giving you water. It's a company are concerned about surviving.
Making the money. And paying the money in whatever way
and now
to the pockets of those who are earning.
And that large project they get from the GCF, the Green Climate Fund.
Yeah.
So without they are doing all the job without the proper studies. And one is the whole problem of water budget. For example, you're taking all this water from Concord and sending it to the south. And whereas you could have maybe come, just off my head, you could have put some of the strain on, I want to use the right word. I'd like to say ground right, you have a name of the call of the. Anyhow, instead of putting the strain on Concord alone, they could have taken some from ground right too. In other words, Andre, imagine.
Is there a place where you can take water in Grand Roy?
Grand Roy have a water treatment plant, a solid one too.
I didn't know. I was only thinking.
I went up there. We have a rain gauge up there too.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
I was only thinking.
What's the name of it, man? There's a name of it.
Montplaisir?
No. Montplaisir.
Montplaisir.
Yeah. Very good water. The West Coast has a lot of water. We have something again we call early warning system. And the people who came up with it, I think it was a bad plan, but they put it in our hand.
Oh my God.
So we have what we call a sensor reader over Baltazar River. But we can read it through Barbados through a system called the D-Witcher platform. The whole Caribbean could look at it. So we have one on Baltazar. We have one on Closure Water Tank. Closure Water Tank has a rain gauge. And we have another radar sensor on Florida Bridge. And we have one on Barrack Bridge. When the project started, I thought the Met Office ought to be involved, but the gentleman come down, no, he will do it for himself, and they put it in the hands of Nawasa.
Again.
That was after the heavy flood in Gulf. So what the system should do, you should be monitoring when the heavy rain, the rain gauge will tell you. Then you look at the radar by Miss Milling. There's one by Miss Milling called the Barrack Bridge, and there's one further. So you look at it. Unfortunately, these things are not very practical for Grenada, because by the time you know water rising by Milling, you're reaching Gulf distance. But however, I took a trip to look at it along with Mr. Benjamin from Nawasa and a guy from Barbados from the same CIMH. and he has a girlfriend in Grenada who wants to study hydrology. I think she's off doing it now. Okay, it's an excited Phil.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided to go through with NASA and look at it and look at it and look at it and look at it. Only to realize, the guy tell me, they don't have batteries in them.
What?
Oh, I'll wait till I buy a battery. I say, forget it. Give me the specs on the battery. I went down, as soon as I got in the office, next day I got batteries in the system. And the Met Office more or less take over this equipment.
So, what you've said to me over the past 10 minutes, White, is that we seem to have a generic problem with NOASA?
Yes, especially when we come to water resources management.
So what we see them doing, digging up all the place, that is just superficial.
And that's all the concern. Running pipes and not really making the water study. One of the problems that they have, the hydrological staff don't remain there. Because they don't understand it, they are about the lowest paid within the department. So when I did my forecasting, now when you're going to do forecasting, the person who's doing the senior tech of forecasting, then they run alongside that a diploma in hydrology. So we take certain classes together. The Met Officer and the hydrologist take maths and physics and certain classes together. So the gentleman in NOASA was Francis Mono. Nice guy. You should know him.
I think I do.
Assistant shipper.
Yeah, I think I do.
And this guy was so enthusiastic. Brilliant guy. When that guy get back and he see the salary he's getting, he left the job, he's now in New York. Then you have the next guy called Mr. Cambridge. Cambridge left. Then we have a guy, Ricky Williams in Liat, he was in hydrology, he left. Joe on the road is a junior hydrological technician.
Joe Gilbert?
Yeah, no, Joe.
Oh, Merriman.
Yeah, Merriman.
Yeah. He works with his brother now, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's a trained junior technician, very good on the practical side of his work. And he's always, the hydrological services is not given respect. And we want to take this thing further in terms of hydrologists. Because within hydrology is something called geology. Geology deals with rocks formation, the type, the stress, the strain that it can take, etc. But when you deal with a subject called hydrogeology and geohydrology, it relates now to the water in the soil and what's the force the water can take. Very important. And this is the problem we have in closure with the road. We have soil that is not standing up. Geology. We have plenty of water in it. Hydrology. Andre, there is help available from the CIMH, the Caribbean Institute of Meteorology and Hydrology.
You mean help for closure?
Help for closure.
Explain.
They will come and test the area.
Free of cost?
And technically not free. But it is paid for already.
But we are part of it, so
yeah.
So we pay for
we
it.
Always
anyway.
pay.
We always pay.
The Grenada government, to the best of my knowledge, pays the school in Barbados $125,000 a month. A year, sorry.
A year.
And Grenada is a very good paying nation. In terms of...
You know, if we up to speed
if you want to see political, we had 2008 to 2013. It was very, very bad.
2008 to 2013.
The government was there. There was no payment.
Okay.
And from 2013,
the payments came back.
A lot of payment. Grenada became one of the best paying nations within CARICOM. And as far as I know, right now, it's been kept up too under the present administration.
Okay.
They're paying the dues up to date. I know countries that owe millions of dollars. So, all I need to do is to call and get the principal. He loves to do that because he is a hydrogeologist.
So they could call him, pick up the phone and call him and say, hey, we have a problem.
Call Dr. David Farrell. And when they call, say Hubert, tell them that. Say Hubert White says so. Now, how does that school operate? It's the arm of CARICOM that was incorporated in 1972 after the Treaty of Chaguaramas to form CARICOM. So as the first arm, it was existing, and CARICOM pick it up and run with it, and it's going good. And everybody, the oldest nation that opted out was the Bahamas. They know the reason. But there are countries right now who want to get in, like Guadeloupe and Martinique want to get in. So if you are not within the grouping and paying contribution, you have to pay for the services, but Grenada doesn't have to pay. The school is run by a board of directors. They don't call them board of directors, but they call them BOG, board of governors. Grenada's representative on that board is the permanent secretary in the line ministry for meteorology. And that is the Prime Minister's ministry. So the permanent secretary in the Prime Minister's ministry is a member of the Board of Governors. Every correspondence will come to her. They will come to her for decisions, for example. If someone is requesting a big allowance and if it's too big that the school could look at it, they will write every member of the board. They will send it to the Met Office, the head of the Met Office too. And who will do? She will ask them for advice, and they will advise accordingly. Every year, the school and other organizations within the meteorological services in CARICOM, they meet in the month of November. And the real meeting is what we call CMC, Caribbean Meteorological Council. And the council composed of ministers with responsibility for meteorology. So our dear Prime Minister, the Honorable Dick Mitchell, is a member of the Caribbean Meteorological Council.
Has he ever been to a meeting, do you know?
Not that I know of. We find a lot of ministers don't go, they send the PS, and the PS brief them.
Okay.
Which is
okay. Yeah.
So, if he don't know, he has no excuse. He ought to know that there's help available
for the closure
road.
Instead of just, because at this particular point in time, we're still doing, and I say we because it's government, it's us. We're still doing the project blind.
Exactly.
Because there's something that's rather interesting, Whitey. Close to the project, when we stand like inside of the project, there's a lady who said, on the hill there is where I live. She says, that's my house you're seeing right there. And there's been a slide behind the house. I'm like, really? She says, yeah, you can't see the slide because the balisé, how it's the slide took place and the balisé is covering it, so you can't see the slide. And she said to me, Andre, do you see that golden apple tree all the way up there? And there's a golden apple tree about 200 meters in. She says the fault, the cut in the land is from where we stand to about 250 meters away. It got to that golden apple tree. And she says that the land continues to move in that area. So I'm thinking, if the land is continuing to move in the area and we are here at what I call the end point, doing a project, it's only a matter of time before the land does away with that project again. So we're back at square one. So we could really and truly do with the studies that you're saying are available.
A geohydrologist. You must.
So why, how come nobody has thought about that?
I have no idea. And one of the problems that we have, the conduit for information in Grenada is not very efficient. We have a big space between the technical people and the policymakers. The permanent secretaries are called the SMB, the Senior Management Board, and technical officers, and maybe things stop at the technical officers. And whereas you find the permanent secretary who's only concerned about the administrative aspect of the ministry. But we need to have more communication between the technical people and the policymakers. And it might surprise, one of the things I learned from a guy called Mr. Silly, and don't take him by his name, he's a very wise guy. Mr. Silly was telling us something, I don't know how true the story is, but the first time I heard that. You are aware of the Water of Astoria, is that what you call it, the big hotel in New York?
Yeah.
Right.
The Waldorf, yeah.
It's a very old hotel.
Yeah.
So when that hotel was constructed, elevators was not around.
Oh, okay.
So they got all the set of engineers to decide to see how they will really construct. So one of the things they came up with, but it will cost them to lose a room on every level. So they use a room for the elevator and then link it to every floor. So the guy was there, he was mopping and he listened to him. And he said, why not build the elevator outside? Attach the elevator. And all the engineers just closed the book on the gun, and that was it.
Build it outside.
Yeah. There's a hotel, most of the hotels that's all they do. There's the one in Cuba, Milia Habana, it's on the outside. You just attach it and you link it to the floor from the outside. So instead of, let's say the hotel is 15th floor, and you take a room on each floor for the elevator, you're talking about 15 rooms you are losing. And then you're also talking about the retrofitting, which will be very, very expensive. So we sometimes, the solution is there, Andre, but we don't rely on it, we don't rely on the science. We send people and study, and they give you a report and recommendation, and they throw it there. And that's very bad. But Andre, coming back to the whole idea of the hydrological data, what I want to touch on as part of my career is the use of meteorological data. And that is quite interesting.
That was my next question for you.
The use of meteorological data. During my time at the office, because the same CIMH came up with a data policy and a data cost, and they put as a data policy. Government's free, a government will sanction somebody to get it. Academia is free, universities, schools, students. But they have to come and sign a disclaimer that it would not be sent out to a third party, and we need a copy of the studies and the findings. All other people pay. I don't know what is the cost of what is the cost. And meteorological data is very important. Years ago, I don't know who was in power, maybe the original NNP. They did a study on the Grenville flooding system. And they had to get data from the school in Barbados, CIMH. Unfortunately, maybe they had some pause data at that time. But because we own the school had a right to sell the data to that engineering company. Do you know they charge the engineering company $14,000 US for that data?
Us here?
No, the school in Barbados, because they are also an archiving center.
Okay.
But part of the arrangement, they can do it because we are part.
So you can depend on them for something you can get. Okay.
Right. Because they do all the training. So that's part of the
income information flows between the two. Okay.
And that's part of the income generation. I just go nuts to say that meteorological data is very, very important. We get requests for construction. Then when we started that prospectus of the oil drilling, a lot of data.
So let me ask you this question right there. What are some of the challenges of maintaining long-term meteorological data?
Of course, space. In terms of computer archiving and whatnot.
And does artificial intelligence help in this? Do you know?
No, that I know of at that time. But it's quite interesting. For example, there is sometimes we speak about poor implementation. That's what we always speak about. And some of the poor implementation we had sometimes the lack of data. I'll give you one case in point. Guam Fish Market. When the Japanese came here, they wanted data. And they said the particular data they was requested is BATI and TSAC. BATI is bathymetric data, which really deals with the ocean flow. At that time we didn't have it, but we have it now because Grenada has done a LiDAR survey, which gives the topographic formation and solid oceanographic. Grenada has it available. One of the few islands in the Caribbean that have it. Although they say Grenada did nothing in terms of IT. Right. Anyhow, TSAC is the acronym for temperature and salinity. So they need to know the salinity of the water in the area.
How salty it is.
Yeah, and they need to know the temperature, average temperature. Temperatures are available a lot now in data boys and the schedule, because the Hurricane Center have some installed, because you need to know the temperature in the Atlantic to do the hurricane forecasting and so on. But that project got held up and passed through maybe 2 governments. You know what was the solution now? Since we don't have that data, meteorological condition varies with latitude, not with longitude. So we are 12 degrees.
Yeah. 12
So
degrees
12 degrees
yeah.
north.
Yeah.
So they had to go around the globe and see who around 12 degrees north have the information.
And use that.
And use it. So they call that.
Would it correspond though?
Yeah, it would correspond. It would not be perfect, but that's what they use. So that's how important data is. One of the greatest experiences I had is to supply data to the High Court for meteorological information.
The High Court, like in the criminal court?
Yeah.
What the hell does that have to do with anything?
There was a boating incident in Grenada, maybe you heard of it. It was involving a doctor with his speedboat who bounced somebody who was surfing. I think that person used to be some Beaumont person.
So in Grandad?
SG, many years ago.
Yeah, I think many years ago. Yeah.
And when the investigation came, he's claiming that it is a city person because it was very foggy and all of that spray and whatnot. So we have to, because we not only archive our data, but we also archive the information we use for making forecasts.
That's archived.
And that's model monitoring. So whatever information was used. So we had to go back to that now. So then I had to give them a report. Frank is the one that did it, FIMBA.
Right.
So I had to go back and give them...
You didn't give them in part 1, huh?
No. I had to go back and give them the qualification experience of FIMBA as I provided. So then the day I had to go down to the courthouse and swear that is the information is valid to the best of my knowledge and that's what happened and whatnot and whatnot. It didn't take long. He just questioned me about 2 questions on the stand. I went home, but poor me triple.
Now, how does the weather forecasting, how does that help to improve, I'm speaking an agricultural question now, how does that help to improve your yield and reduce losses as it relates to agriculture?
Directly, because related to the same school in Barbados, they produce something called CARICOF, Caribbean Outlook Forum. Usually have it on the Facebook page now. So you look at for the next, what you expect above rainfall, below rainfall. But Andre, our authorities has been insulting us.
No, I'll say again.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. Okay, good.
When we know climatologically that your wet season ends at the end of the year, more or less, you'll have a few rain, but it's gradually. So in other words, you'll have 2 rainfall maxima in Grenada, one in July and one in November. The one in November, sometimes could be higher, we call it secondary maxima. So that is why the Ministry of Agriculture traditionally, and also be guided by the Climate Outlook Forum, they open the planting year in June. Mango, orange, we'll do. If you recall recently, the current government had a spice planting project in November.
As a matter of fact, yes, because they started the spice planting project not too long after they won elections in June of 2022. They started
so without
a spice
any planning
project. Yeah.
And what is to add insult to injury? You said the previous government didn't have a plan. So did the government, when it came in power, produce the spice in 2 weeks? The spice plant? I want to know. But the real thing I'm looking at, they refuse to be guided by the science. Spice, especially cinnamon, is not necessarily a highland product. Spice do well in the lowland and the middle belt. And that's the dry area.
Well, you have to understand, you have to be very careful when you say that, Hubert, because the Prime Minister stated that he used to go and pick up cinnamon in... That's another story itself. Yeah.
So you have the science, you have the experts, and you don't rely on them, but instead. So that's the problem we have in Grenada. For our own personal gain or make ourselves look good, we do things at a time when it will bring a show, when it will bring a gala, a spectacle, something that is nice for the camera, instead of you doing it scientifically. and be guided by the experts that you hired, train, and pay. You leave them out and you went planting cinnamon and other spices in November, just at the end. And what is bad, if you plant it especially in November, it could be washed away in the heavy rains you'll get in November. But when you plant it June, it start picking up itself, and then July. So it's not very wise, and that is why sometimes we have to be concerned about help is available, but are we using it? It's like an animal goes to the river and refuses to drink. It's thirsty, but the water is available, it's not drinking. And it's questionable because we have a lot of export, and you was asking how those things happen. I believe that sometimes when you see people about reach retirement age or close to retirement, you have to draw out a lot they have from them and make sure you document it and make sure you have people who can carry out. So you find a lot of experts are retired, and the people, one of the problems, you did not name the deputy in time.
Okay.
So they didn't get enough time to pass on all the things they should pass on. And so we find a lot of people coming home with a lot of knowledge, institutional knowledge. Now, we use a lot of meteorological data to settle insurance claim. That's a serious one we've been having. Somebody call and say, oh, heavy winds take out the roof and whatnot. Insurance writer, so we have to give a report. What was the winds? Then...
So hold on. So the meteorological office, based on what you're saying, people would think that y'all are just down there, right? Write the forecast for the day and follow whatever model and test some temperature and go and see where rainfall and when. But you guys do a lot of work.
A lot of work.
Who are you responsible to? The airport or the Ministry for Agriculture?
Well, Andrew, I love that point. So the Met Office is run under the airport. At one time, there was a manager who said, not doing nothing for nobody, there's only the airport, because the airport paid. So I use a term to Mr. Leroy Knuckles.
My God.
I say, remember, the contribution to CIMH is paid by the government of Grenada. And everything international it met is by the government, although the airport pays the staff and whatnot. As a result, Mr. Nicholas, the Met Office is legitimate by convention to carry out this other task, like watches and warning, and you just watch very laugh. But it's sad, eh? But as I said, the Ministry of Agriculture in Guyana, in Barbados, it is under the Ministry of Agriculture.
Well, that's not rocket science.
And what I've suggested, but I never got the chance to write up a proposal of how it's going to work, is that to make the Meteorological Service a quasi-statutory body. And it was also takes in the water resource management, so do all the rainfall data, all the river data. So they stand on their own. But you may not have to get a board of directors. They can work under NAWASA's board or airport board, one of the boards. So government pays a subvention to them. Airport pays a subvention, and NAWASA pays a subvention. And they operate like that. And they handle the service, handle the data. Private companies pay for data.
Let me ask you this, because you're saying that, based on what you're telling me, meteorology is involved in almost everything. How relate pest and disease?
Of course, that's a very important one. They've been having a lot of work with
meteorology.
Health, because pest and disease, especially, a lot of them is waterborne, where water settle, the quality of water, the lack of. Some of them strive in certain particular temperature. So certain temperature and moisture is conducive for this formation. And that is why, Andrea, we have some of the automatic weather station now. Although we had some that was very faulty and they had to disconnect it. They do data like radiation. They do data like leaf wetness. Leaf wetness is they have something like artificial leaf that is sticking out on the station. And as it gathers moisture and its behavior, it is related to blights, forming on leaves. You know, sometimes you have
Yeah, I have a lot of blight on the plum
right.
tree.
So they use leaf wetness to create a test, along with ground temperature, soil temperature.
Okay.
All this. Now you also have what I didn't touch, evaporation, and that is in basically is NAWASA portfolio. NAWASA should have an evaporation pan on every treatment plant. Interestingly, I don't know if it's still there, but the last time NAWASA has an evaporation pan in the garage.
Which garage?
An evaporation pan.
Which garage?
Right there, with the operator. I
Oh,
don't
you
know if
mean
it's
right
there.
here?
Yeah.
So what's he doing inside? Oh, come on, man. Come on. But by the way, you know, I must play a little devil's advocate. Are you looking for a job, sir? Because you bringing up all these things, and these are things that we don't have and that you know we should have. Are you looking for a job? You're retired, aren't you?
The only job I could do now, besides my gardening shop, is the job I'm doing now.
Oh, talking to us.
Yes. I want to bring up conversation to people that will listen and will understand, and maybe even the politicians. And I'm talking NDC, NNP, all of them. If I could get them in a forum to discuss it. Because there are things which I have in mind, which the people ought to know, and which I need to know, which I don't know. And there's certain things which I could tell them based on my experience, what should be done, what can be done, what ought to be done.
Here's something. It's a big one. And this one would earn you $1 million instantly. We have a problem that is created by NAWASA's development of infrastructure throughout the island. And it has to do with dust management.
Yeah.
As you know, you have a business in Sateres, and you know what happens on a daily basis. Is there a way you can point NAWASA how to deal with that throughout the country? Because the trenches dug from Grenville right through to River Sally, and then from where we call on the canal right here, right into the town, and there more trenches being dug.
All that NAWASA have to do is that expedite the job. You dig a trench, you put the pipe, you test it, seal it, and cover it back. Because some of those things are inevitable. But what I thought you was going to ask is the effect of the dust.
Yeah, I was coming to that outside
Because
of dealing with it. Then my next question was,
that is part of the project that the Met Office has been involved to, in conjunction with St. George's University, air quality.
Because I'm trying to figure out. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. Why? G Cruise. I expect them to be a responsible company. And how does a responsible company gets itself tied into something that is damaging? I mean, if we do a survey of people in Sateres who work in Sateres, who move through Sateres every day in relation, for the past ever since Carnival? Or just before Carnival until now? If we check the air quality and we check the lungs of a number of persons coming in and out of the state,
especially people who may be asthmatic.
Yeah.
We have children going to school, they tend their lungs. We have children bringing their toddlers out there. And if you notice, in my case now, in front of my shop, I don't even put out my avocado outside. And once I put outside, when I touch dust, I have to go and wipe them off. And remember, dust can carry a lot of diseases, as we said. So the air quality project we had was with SGU, and was doing air quality, which was very, very important, because we noticed that, maybe that's why I see you have a problem.
That's killing me.
I noticed that we noticed that there's a lot of pathogens might be in the dust. Right?
You don't know what's there.
And the study of dust. As a matter of fact, I went to a hurricane committee meeting in Puerto Rico, and the American Meteorological Society, they had some presentation. And about 80% of the presentation was about the Sahara dust and dust in general and the danger to human health. As I speak now, there's 2 companies in Barbados who are studying the Sahara dust. I know the project is finished, but one is the Max Planck Institute of Germany, and I don't know which one, but they collect the dust and they study it, because what we realize now is that the Sahara dust is not just dust alone, because we have a lot of mechanized agriculture taking just south of the Sahara. So this dust, when they're cleaning the land and plowing, it'll come with a lot of particles that is dangerous to the human health. And then you have our poor vendors who try to make a living, might be pushing the carts and the.
What are you talking about that? I mean, in Sateers we have being sold. I mean, although packaged, and don't let anybody think that I'm speaking against them. I'm just saying what we're exposed to. Although packaged, there's a lady who does nice roti skins there.
Very well, very well.
And although it's packaged, and one of the things that limited dust, but there's going to be some dust because it's going to get onto your hands when you touch the plastic bag, and you're going to open it. And you're going to touch.
I know this is a snack, bite as you go. So as you open it, you're ready to bite.
You're ready to bite. Hold on.
Yeah.
We have the gentleman who on Friday does coconut water.
Yeah.
We have another gentleman just down from here who does roast corn.
Yeah.
On Saturdays is a gentleman who does a lunch. I mean, he makes $1 and it's good for him. However, did we have anybody from Nawasa or any engagement from the Ministry for Health?
Yes.
Do you understand? I mean, even the supermarkets, because their doors are open. Kenny Lal Singh is the only one that it's closed. But once you hit the eyes, it's going to open and dust is going to come in. So even stocks in the supermarket is exposed to this, and we don't have. I mean, G Cruz and Nawasa and the Ministry of Agriculture, the Ministry for Health. No one has put out an announcement, an infomercial saying, hey, wash hands more regular, do this more regular, try to ensure that you wipe apples before you or wash them before you use them.
See,
Come on!
One of the things I'm disappointed in, Andre, is that most projects, because GCRUISE is a project, funded by Global Climate Fund. Most of these projects usually have a M&E attached, which is a monitoring and evaluation. And somebody should be doing a monitoring and evaluation of NAWASA and how they are behaving. Definitely. And it's just the whole respect for people.
And you have two schools, two primary schools
right here. Like I was telling the guys with the grave, and I saw it again with Sellen's funeral, like Trevor brother, that when you go in the Canasi cemetery thing, the dust that the people dig up for the hole, you're not seeing it at all.
You can't see that.
They move it forward, and they
move
put
it
ply,
back.
and they put some green artificial carpet, and the whole place is green, and the box sit down there, and then they move it and they go for the dust where it is and pack it back. But you go to a funeral and you have to see your dead ones burying all the mud and all the dust.
And you don't know what you're trampling in,
Yeah, you don't want to trample in. So it's a whole, sometimes we take these things lightly,
Somebody can say if people eating dust. Well, they're eating more. Definitely. They're eating more. They're buying dust.
We buy the dust.
We literally biting the dust. And that is so very wrong. That is so very wrong. Even the young man who does he plies the root every day with his water nuts and sea moss and whatever. And they taste so good, but these days he could only make one trip because of the condition of the roads.
And you look at the traffic danger again too, People try to get away from it. And then sometimes I look at my good little friend in Moncraven who use the motorized chair to go to McDonald College. So they barely have a space to maneuver.
And here again, and in comes I hate to put it this way, in comes the police. The police are in Sateers, but the police are not in Sateers. Because had the police looked at the situation, what they could have done is switch the parking and let people park over the dust.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Let people park over the dust.
Over the trench.
And then the other area you move up and down. But the police are just sat there doing nothing.
My problem is, as I say, in terms of conversation with the people, one, and the other thing is that they are not expediting the project.
Yeah, what they're doing now, they pressure testing.
They have to do the pressure
they're
test.
testing my pressure. My pressure tested.
And how is it high?
He's very. It nearly knocked me down yesterday. No, but seriously, these people,
honestly,
they're just not
Andre,
in. Not
Andre,
come on.
to be truthful with you, when I'm home, so I'm just home relaxing, and when my staff call me and say, hey, you have to go deliver a drink, I say, deliver again. Well, you don't know that. You just be there and you don't see me lazy. You come from the garden and just go back home and do my work. Down here is very, very depressing.
It's depressing.
I want to start cleaning. I don't make sense cleaning. My glasses dull and all this thing. I want to start cleaning. I don't make sense cleaning.
Nah,
you remember you told me we started to do some.
Yeah, we are supposed to do some power washing, and you said to me, "What's wrong with you guys? You crazy? I ain't make no sense." And when I do some result, I said, "But no, White is correct. It does not make any sense."
Yeah. And Andre, you're not only looking at this again too. Somebody can trip on the loose gravel and damage himself.
It's a pity. It's a pity no one has done that as yet.
Yeah.
And what they're doing, they're pressure testing. And for the love of me, I want the National Authority and G Crews, I want them to inspect the portions that have been covered with the bitumen mix.
Yes.
From Grenville to Satés. Please, Nawasa and G Crews, I beg you, please, send somebody to look at it, and you will see the kind of job you were given by the contractor that you gave the job. It's absolutely rubbish.
No, it's no good. It's no good.
It will serve, and I have a feeling the person who got the job, they have they own a series of part shop across the country. Seriously.
Yeah.
Because it will seek to damage vehicles.
Andre, the quality of work that is done on Silly Trench, the quality of work that is done in Silly Trench, it reminds me of what we call a temporary work. In other words, if we say next month or 2 months time, the whole of Satés have to be dug up and repaved, then you could do that road. Because it is not as strong as the road they remove.
And what they did, and this is where the crap comes in. What they did was give somebody who has, quote unquote, what they believe are the resources to do the job.
Yeah.
Lacqua and them, and I'm not speaking Lacqua and Sons, I'm speaking Lacqua, the guys from Roseville and Turkey Babe and them.
Yeah.
Yo, give them that job.
Yes. And they have the experience.
They have the experience, and they're able to mobilize the resources in order to do that job. Give them the job. What's his name?
You call it the asphalt contractors.
Yeah, the one who is doing Satés here, Bull.
Okay.
I don't support giving him the job. I mean, I have nothing against him. I'm just saying no. Give the people who can do it, and they will do a better job that will last until you are able to come and do the whole work. Come on.
But I think we
common sense.
I think we have been given a bad deal in Satés, and I think we have nobody speaking up for us. I shouldn't say we have nobody speaking up for us.
We don't have anybody.
Yes, we have.
Where?
Real FM.
Oh, okay. Nice one.
But Andres, on a serious note, I must congratulate you on the job that Real FM is doing. And you know, some people just look at Political Wednesday and the extension and say, oh, it's a political station. Tonight, for example, or tomorrow night, I'll be listening Bandy, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
It's the only station that have that diverse. Which other station have an entire morning for agriculture? And sometimes we really, really, really need to cherish what we have. And, you know, I hate, and I never thought I was going to speak about it, I have to speak about it. This tribalism and pulling down of people. I had to speak to a lot of my friends who are on Facebook and say, hey, deal with people's message. Deal with people's message, not people. Oh, where you come out to this, that, and you that, and that. A good cousin of mine posts that anybody who is associated with the opposition party is just as wicked and nasty and bad. And I replied to him, and from the reviews I'm getting, everybody loved my reply. I say your post is carefully read and noted. And the guy who posted is my cousin. And Andre, I love that guy from the bottom of my heart. And I wish somebody could tell him that. And you might surprise to know why.
If you tell me his name,
You know why? Mr. Springer Aubrey.
Oh, Aubrey.
I love Aubrey.
I would tell you.
To the bottom of my heart.
I would tell you.
I'll tell you a simple thing. At one time, about for 2 months, I couldn't eat any solid food. And I told Aubrey that. Every morning, Aubrey bring me a popper.
Wonderful.
Once you have, you bring it. But you know, we must respect people's choices. We must respect people's affiliation. And you are affiliated to a political party, and there are certain things in the political party that they did and you don't like it, and you might meet the individual and tell them. But you don't castigate people because they affiliated, associated with someone of that nature and they are this of that. Come on, we are one Grenadian. One Grenadian, we are a loving set of people. And when but a lot of people was disturbed with that post and the way he put it. It did not sound good at all. You know? And just that. And I don't know, that will never bring bad blood with me and anybody.
Well, it is
and
not supposed to.
You know what I laugh at that when these people speak about that? You come to mind.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
The way your whole body, the way you like your partner, Tillman Thomas.
Oh, that's my guy.
So people still call this his enemy.
It's my guy.
I know.
Right there.
It's my cousin.
Yeah. Can't disrespect the Tillman.
I want people to know that.
Yeah.
This sort of backbiting and thing, no. You come to your political affiliation and you discuss it, sensible and whatnot, but you don't go tearing people down. You tear and
Tillman did me a number, right? Let me just tell you quickly, 30 seconds I can tell you. I'm the president of the youth arm for the National Democratic Congress. So I am a member of the executive by virtue of that. And on that day when they asked Kenny to step down and resign, we were at a meeting. And then I, of course, depending on Kenny for a ride to come up. So Kenny walked out. So I am like, Mr. Chair, who was Finsley St. Louis, the chairman at that time. I said, Mr. Chair, understand my situation, please. I usually get a ride with Mr. Lalsing, and if he's leaving now, I will have to leave unless I can get a ride with Bro Tillman here. And Tillo said, sorry, I ain't going into this. Which simply meant he was not going to pass through Sateas to get to Hermitage. Passing over the hills, or St. Davis to get to Sateas, he would not pass, not even to accommodate me one time. But that did not stop me from still respecting and loving Tillman Thomas. With all his charm, judgery, and broken pieces, I still respect the gentleman, and I believe that he deserves all respect that the people of Grenada can give to him. I don't believe they should give him Governor General, though. I don't believe they should do that. But Uncle Tilly, if you become Governor General, I will still salute you, Chief.
Coming back to the whole topic, for example, my good friend Ali, every time me and Ali, we do a stick of Guinness. We sit down and we laugh. We
not drinking it, Ali. I'm not drinking
that is
it,
you.
Ali. Yes.
Whatever me. And for example, when I said one day I had to get some breadfruit, he said, Mr. Man, you know where the breadfruit tree is. That is the friendship we have, eh?
Yeah, there's a big breadfruit tree right
You come whenever you want breadfruit, come and get it to bread. And we sit down and we laugh about politics, and he give me a time. I say, well, I can take your post in there. We sit down and we have a laugh. Because at the end of the day, my God, you see this man, Ali's father was a very, very nice man.
And I mean no, and this is not a direct statement to Ali, but I say I'm drinking. Drinking nobody these days, very, very limited people I drink with. Because who drink with people going 6 feet under today. That's all I say. I'm not more who drink with people going 6 feet under today, so I'm drinking.
Yeah, drinking people. Drinking with yourself.
Drinking me. When I buy my bottle of wine, I'm going to drink it. That's it.
But Andre, if we go to look at some of the things again, especially my experience, I speak of the construction and
I have a question for you on construction. Oh,
Yeah.
You want me to give it to you? I have a question
Yeah,
for
go
you on
ahead.
construction. How does weather forecast affect construction projects? How does
Okay,
the
forecast,
weather-
and
forecast.
not climate data.
No.
Forecast.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
A guy have to pour concrete. You want to know what the rainfall will be like for the day?
Oh, okay.
Walking on the roof, the wind, they're very, very interested in the wind when they put it on galvanized sheets because that wind and
fly out.
Right. So very, very important. But what was
I have more.
Yeah.
I have more. For instance, there's another one. What are examples of climate resilience infrastructure that relies on meteorological data?
Well, in terms of okay. You have to construct a building, or a tower, for example. Then you need to know what is the maximum wind you have in that area, so you can build accordingly. You can withstand it. Also, the one that I was coming to, and I forgot to touch it, drainage. Whenever you're constructing drain, we see in Grenada here, they give a man, 20 feet of box street. What criteria are you using to build it?
Yeah.
Whenever you're building a drain, you're going to concrete a drain, there is something you call the MEO, the maximum envelope of water. You look in the Coconut Road area, and we have what we call Legion Corner, where there's a drain about 6-8 feet wide, and then it pours into another drain 2 feet wide. It's drain abuse. You did not take the data into consideration. Typical example, and I discussed it with someone who works. I moved very good with the guy, but I don't really know his name.
Which one?
I only from the Moncraven area, but he's in physical planning. Dark skinned guy.
Tall?
He kind of think he.
Not Moncraven. You're talking about a guy from Shantimel.
Shantimel from okay. So he told me
I know it is just.
So he was speaking about because he
yeah.
told me, I forgot to tell me. See when
Richie.
Richie. See when I get to that program here, he would like to be listening. So he told me that somebody came and they was looking at. They're starting to have some flood now on Dusty Highway.
Oh.
And he said people came, and he said there's a problem drainage.
Drainage.
So that water in Dusty Highway, it comes from Grana's Valley, in the back of Hubbard's. You have people squat there over a number of years.
Yeah.
But to add insult to injury, the people who consult Ram Supermarket building, they box the drain.
Ah.
Now, when you have a drain that is, there's a simple way to look at it. If you are going to construct a concrete drain, you know there are limiting flow. So how wide you make it? If you don't have rainfall data, what you could look at the mud drain on a heavy flow, mark out how wide to which is extended and how high, and that will be your guide
for the box
for the concrete.
For the concrete, the drain.
Right, but when you cover it, when you box it, and remember debris will get caught under it.
Correct.
Then flood. Interestingly, one of the requests we had was from the company. A company was contracted to build a new warehouse for Coates. And that area, there's a big drain between Dusty Highway and Coates Warehouse. So that's the same drain, eh?
Yes, there is behind Courts.
He called for rainfall data?
Yeah. That goes into the boatyard area.
Boatyard area.
Yeah.
They call, but what we notice happening is that as lands are being sold for construction, and lands are so expensive, and so they buy a piece of land with a storm drain, you tend to narrow that drain so you can use more of the land.
More of the land to do your
But that will
construction.
be to your detriment.
Yeah. We've got a caller. Let's take the caller, and then I have something to tell you because somebody sent a message from me. You can't say nothing good about Tillman. Okay, I got something good. I'll say it when we come back from this caller. Good morning.
Good morning, Andre.
Yeah, you might be. Why don't you take a stop and use the phone how it should be used? The you talking on speakerphone, they giving us a problem hearing you.
Okay, let me do that.
Yeah, do a stop, and I don't want you to get a ticket.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
That's better.
All right. Good morning again, Andre. Good morning to
Morning.
Mr. White, and good morning to the listening audience. Very very interesting and very knowledgeable. A lot of information there from Mr. White. Thank you so much for those information. Well, my question is, Andre, I don't know if Mr. White is familiar with um, let me get the name. Planes.
Of course.
When you right.
Mr.
So,
White is from St. Patrick, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
The roundabout in Plains there.
Uh-huh.
Right. So when you go the road that goes down into Shambo there.
Yeah.
Right, and alongside of the road there is a big drain. And I would like to hear Mr. White version on, because when I was down there last November, I saw a lot of steel and stuff like that. And when I inquire about it, I understand that the government was going to put some concrete drain there. Knowing that there's a lot of spring around the area, I think I would really like to hear Mr. White's opinion on that as to the water flow and what if the concrete would, hinder the land around there. So I would like Mr. White to explain a little bit about that.
All right, thank you, bro. Thanks for calling. How you doing?
Yeah, man. I'm good, man. I'm good.
All right, then. Blessings. So I guess you'll start. You'll hear him, okay?
Yeah. I'm gonna listen.
All right, then. Great. Take care, Collins. Good. Why do you hear that? Oh, I didn't give you the headphones. Sorry. So let me explain to you. You should have drawn my attention to it. He's speaking about planes and that road, the roundabout, and that road that goes down from the roundabout, and that he understands that the government had intentions of putting a drain going down there, and wanting to know how that would affect the land in the area. How you think it might affect it?
Again, that's what geology say. And a hydrogeology say.
Yeah.
You see, one of the things you have to look at, you have to look at what's been happening naturally. When rain comes, what happens there? If water tend to aggregate and flow towards that area. Because it's not very good to force water to go
where it ain't supposed to go.
Because you should take the part of less resistance.
Because when you look at the area, the roundabout area, at the elevation into the roundabout the elevation is going to come from Coquelin River.
Yeah.
And Coquelin River is a river that can get away anytime, which means, or which could mean, that it will flow straight down to the roundabout. And that is now, where do you send it? Because you would have to get it across the road. Otherwise, it would go back and flood the area going off to the right or left. It could.
And thinking about the Plains area, Andre, I believe the Grenada government, through NAWASA, should be looking for a lot of subsurface water, borehole water.
There are a couple of springs in the area.
You look at behind Plains area towards the mountainous area, Coquelin. There should be a lot of underground water there because you have Montreal, Montrepo, that area, Motterbank, flowing like hills. So there should be settlement. Now, if you could get a source for borehole water, that would be a solution for the farmers in Shambo.
Farmers in Shambo.
I think instead of using our treated water.
Okay, so you can, if you source that water there, then you can pipe it for all the farmers down in that area. Oh, wonderful.
And you can charge them a smaller fee.
Yeah. All right, so somebody sent me a message. Oh, so you can't say nothing good about Uncle Tilly. Well, okay, fine. Let me say something really brilliant about Uncle Tilly. Real FM this year will be doing what? 21 years? Is it? I think. And I've had all sorts of people from all over the world. The biggest star I would have had would have been Donnie McClurking.
Okay.
I had his sister also, and I had somebody else. Anyway, however, in terms of Grenada, two persons that really stand out for me. The first one was Dr. Mitchell, and he came there when my daughter was still a baby, right? Somebody else, she fell in love with him, still loves him to today. Tillman, Prime Minister Thomas, and he came there when he was Prime Minister. I did make a request through my good boy, Glenn Noel. Yeah, Glenn Noel. I said, Glenn, I want to do the Prime Minister. He said, you sure? I said, yeah. He said, okay, fine, I'll organize it. And he did. And I'll never forget, my daughter came downstairs, because the radio station came downstairs, and she said, Daddy, yeah, people were going around the house.
Yes.
I'm like, okay. I said, here's what's happening today. Prime Minister Tillman Thomas is going to be a guest on my program, and that will be his security. They're securing the area so that nothing will happen to him. And she went back upstairs. She felt safer going back upstairs because she was scared like shit. Daddy, I mean, it going around the house. So I interviewed two prime ministers, Dr. Mitchell. Well, I did him a number of times, and I interviewed Tillman Thomas once. Did I ever make a request to interview our present Prime Minister? No. I have not made a public request to interview him.
Why?
I don't know, because I don't have a link to him. I don't know who to talk to.
The press secretary, I guess.
That's a good idea. So maybe I'll write a letter one day.
To the press secretary.
I'll write a letter one day and ask the press secretary if I could interview him, because I see they get him to go and thing like what fretting you and all kind of stupidness. Come on, Prime Minister, you're better than that. You're not going to stupidness on them. But
what I recall very nicely about past Prime Minister Tillman, I got my promotion to become manager of the Met Office when he was Prime Minister.
Okay.
And you must run that by the Prime Minister, because part of the manager of Met Offices is to work with NADMA and tsunamis and all this emergency services, and that comes directly under the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister must be comfortable with the choice. So I learned that from my good friend Arnold. Arnold is my real good boy. So I learned that. So Arnold say,
Arnold up here?
Yeah, died deceased.
Yeah.
So what happens is that every time Uncle Tilly left his office, when they have meeting at the party office, he always walk down there. But he always pass through my office, my shop, and speak to who's there and chat for a few minutes. But one of the days I was real mad that he stretched his hand to meet a young lady. From what she said, she was a strong supporter of the NMP party. And she pulled her hand away. And I was real mad about it. I said, come on, my dear. That's the Prime Minister. I feel good when I get somebody in authority. If I get to meet the Prime Minister now in Grenada, and he shake my hand, I'll feel good about it. It's a man is in position. That is his position. So then, it's after I learned that when he went down there twice, he said, you know, the Met Office is going to have a new boss, and it's Hubert White. I think he's a good choice.
Oh, you said that to Arnold?
No, he said it in the meeting, like when they have a meeting there.
Okay.
November's a court in the place. So somebody go and say, they give you that all NLP. And then thereafter, when I got the job, and
call, I'm coming to you.
He actually came because, you know, the Prime Minister is always the head, national security, the head of NADMA.
Yeah.
So he attended one meeting and we had a long talk, because first time he came in to meet the staff, you know, he had a long chat with them and had meeting with them afterwards. But, you know, it was no... And by the way, we are cousins, eh?
Okay, you buying family now? Hold on.
No.
Let's take a call here. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Mr. White.
I am not Mr. White. I'm Andre Donald.
I know that.
I'm the one who said good morning, not Mr. White. You
But
too
I'm telling Mr. White good
frontish.
morning first.
Go ahead.
I'm going to tell you that after.
No, you don't have to.
Okay.
You have no respect. Go
Mr.
ahead.
White, good morning. I was more or less extra taken back and feel proud with the library. I learned a lot from the statement and the thing that you talk about. Real lot. One of the things that surprised me, I thought that the airport was under the meteorological was under agriculture. And my reason for that is I know that people like Darius and them used to be taking rainfall all through the island. They used to be coming in to Gulf and take the rainfall, they record the rainfall. At least I used to prepare the rainfall for them to take. But I really thought all that was tied into agriculture, and I was more than surprised that the airport run under the meteorological run under the airport. But you give us so much food for thought there. I think you need to be back again.
Pay for that.
Not just back again. Sometime when we could perhaps get more persons to listen so that Mr. Andre could make it attention, because a lot of
More
people
persons to
not
listen?
aware
We have a
of
lot
it.
of persons listening. Come on. No,
Yeah,
pull us down here.
a lot of people is not aware of those things.
Well, they will find out. They listen to Real FM. What's up with you, guy? You crazy guy?
I hope they will. But I mean, it was wonderful to get a lot of the information that you give them. Totally much more delighted note than before.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Bridgman. Right. It's real. It's 91.9, 91.5, www.930. Is it? 930. Damn. You know, I'll get hammered in my head because we chatted so much on the conversation. I was so engrossed and the news slipped me. I'm going to get killed for that. Oh boy, that is not good. But nonetheless, we continue. Florence Cyrus of Resus. Good morning to you, Florence. How are you doing this morning? She's saying that the best radio station in Grenada is Real FM. I wouldn't say that. I would just say that we're second to none. And I like to say it like that. 442-0175. Is there a question that you'd like to ask? Is there a suggestion that you would love to put forward? You're free to call us. We're going up until the 10 o'clock hour this morning. The heat these days, what would you say is responsible for that?
Well, in the summer months. But Andre, interestingly, heat is a very, very important topic. And something I want to throw out some for knowledge. Do you know this? Okay, let me put it that way.
Yeah.
If you go, let's say, like when an aircraft travel 35,000 feet.
Yeah, 33.
You get
the mile high.
You get closer to the sun.
Well, yeah, technically, yes.
But why is it more cool?
Yeah. Why? I don't know. I wouldn't. Yeah, why is it more cool? That's kind of strange.
And that's interesting because people don't understand the heat source. Because the Earth's atmosphere is not heated directly by the sun. The Earth's atmosphere is heated by the Earth.
Okay.
Because the Earth's atmosphere...
Make that make sense.
Okay, the Earth's atmosphere cannot absorb the wavelength of the radiation that the sun emits. Put it simply, the sun directly emits shortwave radiation. And the air, based on the nature of the atmosphere, cannot absorb it. So the Earth will absorb it. And in the evening time, the Earth will re-radiate long-wave radiation. So as you go further from the Earth, the temperature will decrease. The atmosphere in which we operate is called a troposphere. And that's what happened in troposphere. So the temperature will decrease until you reach an area called the tropopause. And that is why heat is related to a lot of human activity. The more you concrete your surface and you lessen on natural vegetation, the place will get more hot. Andrew, I've been into a hotel in Costa Rica. The name of the hotel is Punta Leona. Punta Leona does not have one concrete drain. Open mud drain. At least that is part of it. It's a very large hotel.
Yeah.
The hotel starts from the coast and it goes up to the mountain. When you leave the airport, the taxi warns you, make sure you go to the toilet because it's a long ride. And if you enter the airport, the hotel compound at Satese, your room might be in Grenville.
Wow.
And
Amazing.
from the time you enter, that it is bamboo over your head, you both scratching bamboos. So what place is that? And then it's small units of three rooms scattered through the woods. And the walkway is about 2 feet concrete walkway to get to it. When you get down to the eating area, the dining area, it is not air conditioned. It is wire mesh, but it has fly screen in it. I wonder if it's air conditioned, I'm not sure.
Yeah, okay.
So all around you while you're eating is monkeys. Monkeys banging and they playing and
So Andrew family close by.
and they tell you, just don't pay no attention to the animals. I saw the largest ant in that area jogging leaves across the track.
Anteater?
No, ant.
Ant?
Yeah.
Like in an ant?
Yeah.
Okay.
Then I saw a spiny iguana. It's spiny, like a porcupine.
Okay.
On a tree there, and they just don't bother them, they wouldn't bother with you. But the night before we left, the early morning, it was heavy rain. Never heard thunderstorms with it. I want to watch outside and see how the place handle it, because basically it's ravens they have and trees. And all the leaves they sweep out. They sweep out the leaves on the walkway, but they leave all the leaves, all the vegetation. And when you're not in the hotel room, you could just pull up a chair and sit on one side, there are park benches, and it feels so cool and nice. So human factor has a lot to do with heating. So for example, the heating you will feel in the city,
Definitely.
you will not feel it
in
the country area,
country.
because how the hot atmosphere. But again, this is basically summer month we expect the heat. So
Do you know a guy by the name of Mark Williams? Mark Williams.
no.
No. He works in, I think he works in Guelph. And listen to his comment. You'd love this comment. Very proud of the shaper, SJCSS past students. Enough blessings to Mr. White. So he's very proud of him. And it's someone called Sky. Sky is saying, very informative, Mr. White. I hope people are listening to learn.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm just keeping you abreast. There is a question that I have to ask you, and that question is a question for off air. So based on the questions that I prepared for you this morning, I have one more. You think you're ready for this? Okay. Sports and entertainment. And the question is, how does meteorological services enhance safety and planning for outdoor sports and entertainment activities?
Okay. For example,
For up here, what do you call it? The one they usually have Boise thingy? Boise show that they usually have. Crave. And GFA's football and the Grenada Cricket Association having a match.
Right. Well, again, you could come up with a prediction based on the data you have available. I'll give you an example. I did not know the guy. I think they call the guy Jagan, but he was a promoter.
Snell Hall here?
No, not Jagan. Somebody else.
Another Jagan.
But Jason knew him as Jagan, but I didn't know him.
Okay.
So he called one day, just off the mark, and said, look, he wants to have something in Simon. November. And he gave the time, and he said he wants to utilize the full moon. Paradise used to run a very good rain gauge. And every month, the in Shawagulture, you had the printer, you used to send this printing for us to look at all those rain gauge. And I went back, and for the last 10 years, every night, full moon, the Paradise rain gauge show rain. So you go back to your data. And Andre, something I had in mind I didn't tell you. The Hurricane Center used a model, forecast model. The first model that they developed is one called Clipper. I work with Clipper. The first time I went to the Hurricane Center, I got a copy of Clipper. That time the Hurricane Center was run by Dr. Bob Schitz, located on the 13th floor of the IRE Financial Complex, 1320 South Dixie Highway. Don't ask me where that is now.
The heck is that, Whitey?
There was renting that time.
Oh, okay.
And we use Clipper. I know the meaning of Clipper. Clipper means climatology and persistence. So you look at a storm in a particular area, and you go back to the data. It was on floppy. You run it on the floppy. And the floppy will show now what storm in that similar position, similar strength did and where they pass. And up to this day, Clipper has been proven to be the most accurate model for the first 48 hours of a storm. But now that you want long-term prediction, you hardly lose Clipper, because 48 hours is not enough.
Yeah.
You want much more. So, sports and entertainment. Let me give you some facts. In 2007, the Met Office provided meteorological forecasts for World Cup. The only place it happened in the world is within CARICOM. That year they say, let us make difference in the cricket. So each island had the forecast. Basically, we had a computer and we set up. Troy Garvey take care of me. We had our lunch and everything. So I did 2 matches. Each forecaster did 2 matches. And the reason why we did it, or how it is useful, especially when you look at the Duckworth-Lewis technique. So they'll come and they will look at the radar and they'll say, and look, radar is, don't lie, radar is actual rainfall, you see. So basically, if you see a piece of rain setting up, that team that is batting first, you could tell them much. Try to push runs. Because we may not get that 50 overs in. They might judge that match on the first 20 overs. Or the match might be a reduced overs. So we provide that. And every time I look at my passes, a big pass like that, I cherish it to 2007. I still have it downstairs.
Oh, okay.
World Cup we did. So, with the stadium now being an official athletic stadium, the equipments are built in. But before different games, including Intercall, the Met Offices have to send somebody down in Queen's Park, Old Queen's Park. But the amateur association, whatever, provided handheld anemometer to measure the wind. So when a person, you're a whole athletic person, you know, 100 wind assisted, 100 wasn't wind assisted. So that is where you come in sports and entertainment. And everybody wants a forecast to go out, especially you're dealing with tides again too. We provide tide data, so people want to go and fish. They want to know what the wind will be like and whatnot and whatnot. So, and fish is not just as a job, but as an entertainment. Like we provide information for the Billfish tournament. They ask for the forecast and they ask for discussion. So, but Andrew, what you find happening now, you have a lot of open source for meteorological information. That has its ups and its downs. Open source, a lot of open source. So sometimes you don't bother to call the official source. But that is what we do in terms of sports and entertainment. More people could depend on that. It has its weakness. The meteorological forecast is not always 100%. But what we would like people to do, and especially in terms of adverse weather, self-awareness. You like me when I go to the river, to the garden, we always monitor the river because so there's a lot of rain coming in Chantilly.
Yeah, and you don't know, so and that could trap you on one side. Yeah.
So, for example, what we try to do if we have a load, we cross the load. Now, Andrew, that is something that is lacking among our people. The Met Office didn't say rain, so you did not take the right action. Andrew, years ago when our rivers were more or larger, heavier flow of water, you would know that growing in Lafayette area. When you go to the river, somebody in charge of marking a stone.
Yeah.
Paradise River, you have to mark a
You
stone.
have to mark a stone.
Don't bother what the mate officer doesn't say.
And
Mark a stone.
Every 15 minutes, you're looking at that stone.
You mark a stone.
You mark
because
a stone,
when the
you
river
look-
starts to overflow, it does not overflow dirty at
Nope.
first.
Nope, it doesn't.
It just starts rising in volume because the dirty water is pushing out the clean water. And we don't have enough self-awareness. You don't have to depend on, because you might be a place where the technology is not there.
It's not there.
Years ago, for example, and it happened to, I said that here, I believe already, Mr. Walker in Mount Rose had his vessel, and people see Mr. Walker opening over here, the wife of a pig in the cabin. And to make it more suspicious, they used to see her with a toenail clipper clipping the hoof of the pig. You know why did she do that?
No.
That's the compass.
The compass.
If you lost at sea, after a heavy rain, some visibility, and then the rain, I don't know exactly where you are, where the closest land is. Let go the pig.
Right, yeah, so they clip the nail so it wouldn't cut its throat.
Cut its throat, and then shark will follow it.
Because it will swim towards land.
Yes.
Right.
Are you satisfied that the guidance is enough?
Yeah.
They put it back in the
Here's
vessel.
what I got one for you, Hubert, and I know this one. So, who do you want to give this? Based on the comment I'm going to read for you, who do you want to give this child? Would you give that child to Jean, as in Robert, or would you give that child to Queen, as in Queen?
I'm lost.
Yeah, I know you're lost, so I have to pick one. Who you give the child to?
Which child?
Well, okay, let me read the comment for you. The person says, I went to school with Robert, his brother.
His cousin.
Robert. So I want to know if it's Queen you give it the child or if you give it Jean the child. Which, well, one of them has to have the child. Yeah. So somebody's just giving you a brother in Robert. Here's another comment here. In relation to water security, what's your thoughts in more water containment facilities for runoff lost every day via extraction, tax by administration by / government? Do you understand that?
I know, but what I could say is that, and I've been saying it as a flood mitigation exercise, large buildings should be storing water. Large roof should be storing water and release conveniently.
Like Karakum.
Not only like Karakum.
Okay.
Like
Store water.
Caribbean
Oh,
Coca-Cola.
store water.
This roof, large roof in the River Road area. River Road flooding is highly man-made. Development, Tempe is now a city. And that same little gully is sending water right down to River Road.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
So, I said it before, and let me say it again for those who don't remember. For people who travel to large airports, JFK, Miami, Heathrow, look at the size of the ramp. This massive ramp. You know the amount of water that from no seepage.
Yeah.
Where did that water go?
They store it, right?
No, they're holding tanks below the ramp.
So they store it. Okay. Got you.
They're,
Here's another one for you. This man is a genius in his field. When a country have brains like that, you don't get rid of them because they took 60 years. Very informative. I learned a lot. Another one, the person who wrote the other one is calling, so I may as well let them talk to you. Good morning, sir. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Donald. Good morning, Mr. White. Sorry, that was my attempt.
Speak up.
That was my attempt at shorten. I was asking, what's his thoughts on more emphasis put in water containment facilities, right? To even the runoff that we have experienced every day versus the extraction tax by the administration being implemented.
You got that? Oh, you didn't? Oh, why'd you put on those headphones? He will be. Hold on a second there, my brother. I didn't have him wearing headphones. That was a fault of mine right there. Let me get him put on those headphones so you can quickly repeat what you said. You hearing there? Good. He's hearing. So shoot.
You hearing?
Yeah, he's hearing. Go ahead.
what's your thoughts on more emphasis and resources put in water security and containment facilities to aid with the runoff that we experience every day versus the extraction taxes being implemented by the administration and government? Also, the second question before you go on, sorry, with the claim of having the Sahara dust reach to this location, do you think it's possible that we might be experiencing some chemical trails or chemtrails via cloud seeding programs in areas like those? And do you think there's a possibility of a ripple effect in Grenada?
Well, I did not get everything, but
I have it here. I can
What
tell me. I got you, bro. Don't worry. I got you.
All right, cheers.
Right, good. Yeah.
I think we're speaking from what you're speaking about. You're looking at storing water, flood water, as I said.
Yes, he's looking at containment.
Yes,
and looking at that in relation to what will be charged for extraction.
Yes.
From the river.
So in other words, we could have a lot of water storage from rainfall harvesting. And this is what I just said. I use the example of the airport, where below the ramp is tanks. So the waters are stored and they can be released at convenient time. And they can also be reused. Now you look at a place like one of the things I've been advocating. When Coca-Cola put on that new warehouse, the amount of water that roof
takes,
if you contain it, and the company will use that water now for cleaning. Because once you're talking about a factory, you need a lot of cleaning, hosing down and disinfecting, so you need that same water can be used. So it's a win-win situation. I always see rainfall harvesting as a flood mitigation exercise. Years ago, there was a tank in Isle Road with a catchment, a concrete catchment, and the water was stored, and it was adequate for Isle Road.
Here's another one by the same person. Also, with claims of effects of the Sahara dust, is it possible to experience effects about some chemicals used in cloud seeding in some areas, and is there a possibility to have a ripple effect in Grenada?
Well, I'm not sure if cloud seeding is used. Cloud seeding has been on an experimental basis. It hasn't been really used. I think it might be in area like Dubai and these places, it might be used. But what you said in terms of chemical, due to agricultural activity in the sub-Sahara area, it is very, very likely that we get a lot of this effect here. This is for the health authority to investigate. They have been looking at the regular occurrence of disease due to poor air quality, etc., respiratory problem. What I've been experiencing, Andrea, I don't know anyone experiencing that. You're finding we don't know if it's mosquitoes, but you get a lot of bites during the night, and you're not hearing the song of mosquitoes. It might be a possibility that we get something we call gnats. I'm just looking at it why I think it should be investigated. A lot of the blame we give on mosquitoes may not be the mosquitoes, there might be gnats in the atmosphere. Gnats is something like sandfly, they come in dust, they could be coming through the Sahara. That's just a very wild assumption I'm making, but it can be looked into. Because I look up some gnats, and gnats it's quite possible. And even sandflies could come through this dust likewise too. But you remember years ago, there was a locust outbreak coming through a storm. And when we have these other things, this dust from Sahara, a lot of could be coming through, not just dust alone.
Hubert White, it's 9:53. That's about time for us to wrap up. Final question for you this morning from me. Final question for you. What message, and I'm going to ask a question based on how I see or how I heard your train of thought this morning. What are we supposed to be saying to Nawasa?
Nawasa need to engage a wider community. And even a project like that, before they started, they should call the businessmen, call technical people, discuss it with them, the pros and the cons. They want to send a succular, and how much people gets a succular. And even though you have, for example, now you're looking at the project in Setters here, it might be slowed down because of certain technical aspects. They should be informing us. Because what you might find happening in the next country that can be open to legal ramification. And as we said, if somebody gets tripped on that dust, and broke and get the limbs damaged, the hands or the feet damaged, NAWASA will be in serious financial problem. So I think NAWASA should take that more serious, but NAWASA should be guided by the science. I'm calling on the government to get NAWASA to work closer with the meteorological services, the Ministry of Agriculture, especially the forestry department, because the watershed management comes under forestry. And in terms of you have a project, GCRUISE project, funded by the Global Climate Fund of the tune of 125 million. I am not impressed with the level of training that comes out of that fund and the level of awareness and mobilization. At every aspect, a matter of fact, Andre, a program like NAWASA should have somebody with you explaining the pros and the cons.
No, they don't advertise here anymore, so
they wouldn't. But I'm not looking at the principle. The information is very important. And one of the things you do is, in this program, is to do awareness in terms of letting people know what they should do close to the watershed, what they shouldn't do, and also in terms of even my area. I'm appealing to people. You see weather stations out there. We have one in River Road. They removed the solar panel. And you cannot hide the solar panel because it has to be exposed. So sometimes we install a weather station, not because it is the best condition, but location, but it's the safest location. Because we have people just moving the equipment. Years ago, they used to move the rain gauge to Wild Babash. And I understand the same Campbell Stoke Sunshine recorder we're using. Some people steal them when they had one in Kari, because they say they want to walk over here and to look in the crystal ball, because it's a crystal ball. So we need awareness. People are destroying what should be protecting them.
When Real FM was conceptualized, it was conceptualized to serve a community, the St. Patrick community. However, as the years went by, we spread our tentacles throughout Grenada, inclusive, of course, of Carriacou PD Martinique. So these are the first set of people we're responsible to. After that, it's a plus, it's icing on the cake, as they call it. And 21 years later, we are still focused on the development of our community, i.e. Grenada. It is unfortunate that companies like NAWASA and others choose not to partner with us and choose to stay totally away from us. And I'm saying this, I say this straight to NAWASA. Your bosses, higher than yourselves, they don't want you to have anything to do in terms of monies with Real FM. But it doesn't mean that if you have an announcement that matters to the people of St. Patrick, you have the bridge that you're doing right now, that is being done right now, not NAWASA doing the bridge, but the bridge that's being done right now. All these different things taking place in St. Patrick. It doesn't mean that you still can't send the information directly to Real FM saying, hey, we want you to put this on the air for us. It will get done because primarily Real FM was developed because myself and others saw the need for St. Patrick to have a voice, and it will remain the voice of St. Patrick. So NAWASA, you can still send your information. Ministry of Housing, you know the amount of houses that you're in finishing St. Patrick, you can still send your information. Other government things, you can send your information. You don't have, I would love to have the monies. However, if your bosses say no, then hey, follow their no in terms of money. But don't let us suffer because of that. Let us know what is happening. Hubert White, I take this opportunity to thank you so very much for this morning. That was a long one in coming, meaning we should have had this a long time ago. I hope that you'll be back next time.
Yes. And Andrew, one thing I forgot to mention, very simple, is a young man in 4 that is really captivating the football in Grenada. I think he has the most goal now in Premier League.
Who's that?
He's a Rayburn guy.
Raybon.
Remember Kalai?
That is Kalai, yeah.
Kalai grandson.
Oh, his grandson.
Yes, and I really, we need to support him in words and deed, whatever way we can. I think he was one of the recent persons that GFA sent to Germany for some training, and he come back and he's just reaping his way through.
He's good like that.
He's reaping his way through. Congratulations to you, young man. I don't remember your name now.
And my son, and you can't forget my son who goes to SAS.
Okay, our son.
You take one now, so let me take this one also.
All right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whitey, again, thank you
very much.
so very much. And looking forward to having
It's
you
a
again.
privilege,
Hey, friends, tomorrow I've got another big guy. What's his name again? Michael Batiste. Yeah, that's for tomorrow. Take care of yourself. God bless you, friends. Catch you again.
Man gone.
Man gone, yeah.
In the spice line, where the airwaves free read. On the radio see. Whoa. No sugar-coated lyrics, no fabricated vibe. Just the raw truth a flow like Mount Quaquat.
Triple N. Informative, entertaining, and first. Every hour on the hour.
This is the latest update of news as produced by Triple N. We'll have the details when we return.
Classic Furniture. Our items are made from the best local wood available on island. Our products are made with love, care, and the experience we have gained over the years. Why do you even contemplate using